Indian Industry, CII. The symposium is themed Higher Education and Realization of Sustainable Development, Paving the Way Forward. We are hosting numerous sessions to explore various aspects of the theme. And today, after the successful inaugural session, we would like to proceed with our session on international cooperation, building robust multi-stakeholder partnership. Now, I would like to call upon the stage our esteemed panelists for the session. To begin this auspicious session, I would like to call Ms. Melinda Pavik, Consulate General of the United States of America. Can we have a huge round of applause for ma'am as we welcome our next panelist, Mr. Kevin Goh, Deputy Consul General, Australian Consulate General. Next on stage, we would like to have Dr. Pankaj Mittal, Secretary General, Association of Indian Universities. We can keep the clap rolling as I proceed with the next name, Dr. Kanat Priya Basu, Professor of Practice, Data Science, and Leadership Development. Next on stage, I would like to call Dr. Shuborno Bose, Chief Mentor, IIHM. Dr. Rudra Shankar Roy, Thought Leader and Academic Ambassador, IBM. And Professor Suranjan Das, our moderator for today, Vice Chancellor, Adams University. Before I delve into the topic, which is international cooperation, building robust multi-stakeholder partnerships, I would like to introduce the moderator. I am honored to introduce Professor Suranjan Das, a distinguished academic luminary and an eminent figure in the realm of education, not only in India, but in international level too. Professor Suranjan Das currently serves as the Vice Chancellor of Adams University, West Bengal, and has previously held esteemed positions of Vice Chancellor of Jodhpur University. He also holds a title of Honorary Professor of the University of Exeter, UK. With a strong academic background, Professor Das was a prominent professor of history at the University of Calcutta, where he also served both as Pro-Vice Chancellor at Academics and Vice Chancellor. Professor Das is recognized for his expertise in South Asian policy. He has held leadership roles in Indian History Congress and Punjab History Congress. Professor Das has received numerous national and international academic awards and honor, and his influence extends globally through visiting assignments and contribution to international academics exchange. He remains actively engaged in shaping higher education policy in India. Before we start this session, and now that we have all the dignitaries here, I would like to request Ms. Rishika Sen from CII to please felicitate the esteemed panel and the moderator. Mr. Rudra Shankar Roy, Ms. Pankaj Mittal, Ms. Melinda Pavik, Professor Suranjan Das, Mr. Kevin Go, we can cheer the team by keeping up the applause. Dr. Shubhurno Bose and Dr. Kanat Priya Boshak. Now, without further ado, I would like to hand over the session to our distinguished moderator, Professor Suranjan Das. Over to you, sir.
My esteemed co-panelists and distinguished members of the House. Could I first sincerely express my gratitude to the CII and the government of West Bengal for enabling me to be here and be a part of a distinguished panel to deliberate on a problematic which is of crucial significance for higher education, not only in India, but the world over. I can, however, assure you that I shall take much less time than the time that has been allocated to me, because we are eagerly awaiting the submissions of my distinguished co-panelists. But let me say a few words on the context in which this issue at hand perhaps may be discussed. Now, the notion of internationalization in higher education made a forceful entry in the discourse on higher education only a few years back, and rightly so. But it is perhaps pertinent to point out that international connections in higher education is not fundamentally a new process. Internationalism is inherent in any university education. And by definition, any university, what the name, has to be concerned with the universalization of education. And we need not forget that India has a great tradition of internationalism in higher education, going back to more than 2000 years. And I refer to the experiments, for example, in Takshashila and Nalanda. But today, when we discuss internationalization of higher education, we deliberate it in a changed international context. And this changed international context results from the inclusion of education as a service sector in the GATT and subsequently in the Washington regime. So when we speak of internationalization of higher education, we do so today in a broader global competitive context. After all, in the globalized world of knowledge production, knowledge dissemination, and knowledge application, all these have assumed an international form. In such circumstances, international connectivity in higher education is no longer limited to mere international presence in university campus, whether it is India or in the United States or Australia, but it relates to a structured and formal form of international connectivity in the shape of transfer of credits, dual degrees, split degrees, joint supervision of dissertations, joint teaching learning process, provision of the presence of foreign campus, and of course, transnational education that can provide quality-based teaching programs through distance learning mode, enabling students to take advantage of teaching learning process of foreign universities without actually spending a full term physically in that particular foreign campus. Dr. Mittal and myself were part of a delegation for a higher education meet, India and UK. And there we were exposed to the wonderful experiment that the University of London has initiated, where a student sitting in Calcutta, Madras, Delhi, Bombay, or Hyderabad can access through online the various degree courses of the University of London. They can spend one semester if they want, but sitting in these cities, they can access the quality program of University of London and they can get a University of London degree. Today, a time has come when we can no longer think of higher education being conceived in a fixed place with a fixed timetable, but everything is now going global. And we need to take into consideration the vital necessity of deliberating on the internationalization of education. So today, when we speak of institutionalized international cooperation in higher education, we should realize that this can be pushed through by what has been rightly called multi-stakeholder partnership, involving the higher education institutions, the academic community, the state, and of course, the industrial sector. And it is significant that this session is being co-partnered by the Confederation of Indian Industries, and we do look forward to an enlightening session. But before I invite the first distinguished speaker, I would like to drive home another point, a point which has been highlighted in the recent literature on the subject of the internationalization of higher education. Now, although we are speaking of international cooperation, internationalization, we also need to remember that the hegemony of the global north over the world knowledge system still remains. This is the virtual point that needs to be emphasized. We speak of international cooperation, but this global hegemony of the global north over the knowledge system still remains. The question, therefore, is, should the process of international cooperation for the global north and the process of international cooperation for the global south be similar, or there should be a differential process for the two worlds? The issue is, should the process of international cooperation for the developing countries be guided by the spirit of the transfer of technology from the north to the south, and also to ensure that this internationalization does not lead to the stultification of the indigenous knowledge system which these ex-colonized countries have experienced, so that we can strike a balance between modernity and tradition and fall back on the paradigm of modernity of tradition. After all, the father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, had reminded us long time back, and I quote from him, "We should keep our doors and windows open so that fresh air can come and make us think afresh. But we should not put ourselves in a situation where the wind coming through doors and windows disrupt the foundation of the house." It's a very partisan saying. In recent years, India has rightly initiated the process of the internationalization of the Indian higher education. And the UGC has already formulated guidelines on this particular subject. And when I go abroad, I find a keen interest on the part of the foreign universities to increasingly collaborate and cooperate with the higher education institutions in India. But as we do this, as we internationalize our Indian higher education system, we need to ensure that this participation of India in the internationalization of the higher education process should be holistic, should not be fragmented in nature. Why? So that we can continue to produce critical but constructive citizens capable of sustaining a vibrant civil society. That should be the guiding goal of the internationalization of higher education, whether in India or in other countries. With this, friends, could I have the privilege of starting the session? And it is indeed my personal pleasure and privilege to invite Dr. Pankaj Mittal, the Secretary General of the Association of Indian Universities, to make the first submission in this session. Dr. Mittal has already been introduced in the inaugural session, but let me stress the point that since I have worked closely with Dr. Mittal, the striking feature of her personality is that she has been able to strike a very fine balance between academic expertise and administrative expertise. She is the second woman to become the Secretary General of the Association, as has been mentioned in the inaugural session. And again, I can testify from my own experience how she has transformed the Association of Indian Universities into a dynamic, vibrant, and constructive body, significantly contributing to the promotion of the Indian higher education system, not only in India, but abroad. She has been actively involved with the internationalization of Indian higher education system, and it is only apt that she becomes the first speaker of the panel. With this, could I request Dr. Mittal to make a submission? Dr. Mittal, please.
Thanks to Professor Ranjan Das. It is always a pleasure to work with him. He was the president of AIU when all these reforms happened at AIU. So he is the one to be congratulated. So once again, thanks to CII and the government of West Bengal for inviting me for this particular session. We are talking of internationalization of higher education. And let me tell you that internationalization of higher education in India has never received the attention which it is receiving today. We know that when we talk of international students, about 10 to 12 lakh, means 1 to 1.2 million students go out of the country every year. How many come into the country? It's less than 50,000. To see the gap, 50,000 and 12 lakhs. So that is a gap which is existing right now. And there are many partnerships, but many of the partnerships are on the paper. So therefore, the government of India felt that internationalization is something which is very, very important because it creates diversity on the campus. It creates co-learning spaces. It creates a lot of collaboration, partnership opportunities. Therefore, it has to be given a lot of impetus. Keeping that in mind, the National Education Policy, which is the policy which came in 2020, I think this is the third policy, but I think that this is the policy in which internationalization has been given the greatest impetus. A lot of importance has been given to internationalization of higher education in this policy. For example, in this policy, it is mentioned that foreign universities can come and set up their campuses on Indian soil. This has been hanging fire sometime like this has been hanging fire for something like 20 years or so. But now the National Education Policy has indicated UGC is coming out with the regulations, and two universities from Australia have already agreed to set up campuses in Gift City in Ahmedabad, but rest are waiting for the UGC regulations. So as soon as it comes, I'm sure there'll be many, many universities who are wanting to come to India to set up their campuses. This has happened for the first time in the history of India. Second thing, the National Education Policy is talking about allowing Indian universities to set up their campuses in foreign countries, not only allowing, rather encouraging them. So Indian universities who satisfy the minimum benchmarks, they are allowed to set up their campuses abroad, again, taking Indian education in those countries so that the students can study there, not only Indian students, but even the foreign students. Third major policy change has been dual degrees, joint degrees, twinning programs. Earlier, they were joint degrees at least were not allowed. Twinning programs were allowed, but with a lot of approval processes at the part of the government. But now joint degrees are allowed, dual degrees are allowed, twinning programs are allowed, and without entering into a lot of waiting period for the approval of these arrangements, because the benchmarks have laid down that what type of foreign university can enter into joint degree, what kind of type of Indian university can enter into joint degree. And if these eligibility conditions are matched, there is no need for any approval, which is again from the Indian context very, very important, because many of the joint degree programs and all, they were not seeing the light of the day just because the government approvals were not coming through. So now all that is away. So you can see that how much the government is encouraging the internationalization on the campus. It has also mentioned that credit transfer can be there between Indian and foreign universities. It has also mentioned small things like every university should have an international students office on their university. So these small things has also been taken into account. And as AIU is the implementing agency for most of the decisions which are taken by the government, so we at AIU have also taken a lot many decisions. For example, you must have heard of NAFSA, which is a network of universities in USA, which is talking about internationalization of higher education. India being such an old country and such a large and diverse higher education system, we never had a network of international higher educators. So now we at AIU, we have built up a network called INHE, INIHE, which is Indian Network of International Higher Education. The purpose is, as I told you, that the number of foreign students in India is very low, and the number of universities which are entering into internationalization is still very low. So we have more than 1,100 universities in the country, out of which only 50, 60 are involved in internationalization. The rest of them They have the intent to internationalization. They want to do internationalization, but they don't know how to do it. What is internationalization? Even the definition of internationalization, how to find a partner, how to choose a partner, how to talk to a partner, how to enter into any collaboration or partnership. So many of them, they have the intent, but they don't have the know-how of how to do it. So we in this network are trying to help these universities who are wanting to do internationalization but are not able to do it by hand holding them, by making other universities which are better off handhold them, by AIU itself hand-holding them. So this is one very, very prime thing which we have done at Indian Network of International Higher Education. Second thing, whenever a foreign university wants to collaborate with an Indian university, they want to see that in a particular subject area, which Indian university is good. For example, they know by hearsay or maybe by ratings and rankings that this maybe say IITs are very good, and some central universities are very good. But if they want to know that in quantum physics, which university is good, or in say any economics, which university is good, so they are not able to know, and it hinders collaboration. So what we have done is we have created a AIU collaboration portal in which our universities are writing that these are the departments where we are very good, where we want to collaborate, along with the credentials in terms of publications, facilities, faculty, PhDs, everything. So that now when a foreign university enters on the AIU collaboration portal, say quantum physics, down comes a list of the universities which are very good in quantum physics in India and who are ready to collaborate. So the search becomes very, very easy. So this type of collaboration portal we have created so that it becomes easy for the universities to partner. Similarly, AIU has been mandated with the equivalence of foreign degrees with the Indian degrees. So whenever a student comes to India with a foreign degree, and if they want to do higher education or if they want to take up a government job in India, they need an equivalence certificate that their degree is equivalent to Indian degree. So that equivalence part AIU is doing, and this we are making more liberal, flexible, contemporary. For example, earlier we used to match the number of years. Now we are matching the number of credits, not the number of years. But again, the credit definition is different for every university and for every country. So what we are also trying to do is credit mapping between Indian universities and the foreign universities. So all these exercises are being taken apart from, like we are AIU, which is Association of Indian Universities. Similarly, we have UKI, which is the Association of UK Universities. We have Universities Canada, we have Universities Australia. So with all these university associations, we do have MOUs. So if you want to partner with the UK university, or if you want to partner with a Canadian university, or an Australian university, or a Mexican university, so we have that MOU signed. Come to us, we'll find a right partner for you. We will go to these associations and say that this is our university, which is wanting to partner in this particular area. Find a suitable partner. So that is the way we are trying to forge partnerships between Indian and foreign universities. Many of our delegations also go to foreign countries for again forging partnerships. So in the nutshell, what I'm trying to say is India is very, very open to internationalization. We are looking forward to having more partnerships. We are looking forward to have more foreign students on Indian campuses, because India is the destination for affordable quality education. Because the education in many foreign countries is not affordable. But India is a destination for affordable quality education, and that is what we are trying to project through very many means. So that is what we are doing. And I hope with all these efforts, the internationalization in Indian universities will be promoted to a great extent. And very soon you will see a lot of diversity on Indian campuses with foreign students, with foreign faculty, and a lot of research collaborations and student exchange and teacher exchange. Thank you very much. Thanks for patient hearing. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mittal, for explicating the processes which Indian universities can take advantage of in promoting the internationalization of the Indian higher education system. Could I now take this opportunity of inviting Melinda Pavek, the Honorable Consul General of the USA in Kolkata, to make a submission. The Consul General, Melinda Pavek, has already been introduced in the inaugural session, but let me just state that she has distinguished diplomatic career and Her diplomatic assignments cover a broad geographical spectrum, from Japan to Pakistan, Brunei, Nepal, Jamaica, Iraq, and finally Kolkata. She joined the Kolkata assignment in 2021, and we hope that during your tenure, Madam, West Bengal will become an effective partner in India's burgeoning relationship with the USA, which continues to attract the largest number of Indian students for higher education. Ms. Pavek, please.
Thank you so much, Professor Das. Thank you so much, Dr. Mittal. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'd like to start by commending CII for organizing a symposium focused on higher education and its role in realizing sustainable development. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a panelist on the topic of international cooperation, building robust multi-stakeholder partnerships. We've heard some wonderful information already this morning from our initial panel, as well as from Dr. Mittal, about the importance that India is placing on international collaboration in higher education. But I would also like to say that it's not only a focus that India has, it's also one of the most important aspects of the US-India relationship, and specifically our collaboration on education, our people-to-people ties, and our scholarly exchange of ideas. These are the fuel that feed the fire of our collaborative, innovative generations. Collaboration is especially an important conversation to have at this moment. We stand at an important crossroads, having emerged from the pandemic-induced shocks to our conventional systems to face a rapidly evolving future that seems uncertain to many. We have seen in the past how times of great uncertainty have given ways to times of intense creativity and innovation. And I truly believe that when we or our children or our grandchildren look back 50 or 100 years from now, we will see that this time is cut from that same cloth, that it will become a time of great innovation. And we've heard about some of those innovations already in education today. But to realize this innovation, we must focus on partnership building in a way that harnesses the strengths of our different players in the higher education sector. And we must learn from our mistakes of the past and do this in a way that promotes diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility so that development is sustainable and that all people feel that they belong and that their challenges are seen and considered in the creation of solutions, including those in education. Our universities, technical institutions, and community colleges have been at the forefront of educating and building current and future global leaders. We have explored the universe, cured diseases, made revolutionary technological advances, and cultivated the world's greatest scientists, economists, and artists, and more. Many Indians who have studied in the United States have gone on to be pioneers here in their home country. And leaders of Indian tech giants like Google and Microsoft, as well as over 25% of all startups, according to some estimates, are not only of Indian origin, but also have studied in the universities in both of our countries. The United States is honored to have had the opportunity to educate many of India's best and brightest, helping to cultivate India's dynamic present and bright future ahead. Many leading Indian institutions like IIT Kharagpur and others have been modeled after and supported in their setup by MIT and other US institutions. They have been involved in many ongoing collaborations with US universities in different disciplines. Some have student exchange programs that are supported by alumni. Many of their faculty educated in the United States have ongoing relationships and collaborations with faculty in the United States. During my recent trip to IIT Kharagpur, I was thrilled to hear from Fulbright program alumni
and other professors about their research into climate resilient agriculture, climate resilient tea bushes specifically, since I'm a tea lover, and innovative clean energy solutions from waste products. I was excited to hear about their joint online courses in data analytics that they ran with the University of Virginia and the collaborations in AI and semiconductors with US researchers that are being funded by the US National Science Foundation. I also really appreciated my tour of their Indian Knowledge Systems Center, where I was able to see in just an eye-opening way how Indian knowledge systems are being researched and connected to higher education research to demonstrate through the scientific method, the importance of those knowledge systems. But perhaps the most meaningful statistic that I heard from IIT Kharagpur was that 80 to 90% of students there are first generation learners, just like me. That statistic demonstrates a positive meritocracy that is unlocking India's total talent pool. But while we can pat ourselves on the back and feel proud, we don't have time to rest on our laurels. Therefore, the US Mission in India team is consistently at work to engage higher educational institutions and further deepen our US-India ties. For example, on September 10th this year, the IIT Council of India, on behalf of all higher educational institutes in India, and the Association of American Universities, AAU, signed a memorandum of understanding to establish a Indo-US Global Challenges Institute. With seed funding of $10 million, this institute will seek to address some of the consequential economic, environmental, and technological challenges that have the potential to affect the security, prosperity, and stability of both of our countries and the globe. The Institute will work in 5 broad areas. 1, sustainable energy and agriculture. 2, health and pandemic preparedness. 3, semiconductor technology and manufacturing. 4, advanced materials, telecommunications, and artificial intelligence. And 5, quantum sciences. As research projects are defined, this will lead to increased mobility of doctoral fellows and joint PhDs. Elsewhere, IIT Bombay has joined the Chicago Quantum Exchange as an international partner. This program will help shape a shared vision of a global quantum economy, catalyzed by the bedrock of US-India cooperation. Another partnership has been formalized between the New York University's Tandem School of Engineering and IIT Kanpur to launch the New York University Tandem and IIT Kanpur Advanced Research Center in Critical and Emerging Technologies. Additionally, multi-institutional joint research centers involving the State University of New York at Buffalo and IIT Delhi, IIT Kanpur, IIT Jodhpur, and Banaras Hindu University are also being set up in the areas of critical and emerging technologies. The United States has pioneered innovation in curriculum development and pedagogy, such as an extensive focus on practical research and the liberal arts to prepare individuals for a multifaceted career and lifelong learning. As we heard this morning, people aren't just going to have one career. They're going to have 5 or 10 or 15 careers or jobs throughout their lives, and they need to be prepared for that. The liberal arts operate from the theory that no subject exists in a vacuum and that one must develop the foundational skills of generalized learning while also digging deeper to become a specialist. It is heartening to see this approach is being adopted by the Indian higher education system as well as part of the national education policy, with a renewed focus on combining specialized knowledge and the humanities. At the same time, the US higher education system continues to focus on specialized research as a fundamental part of curriculum at all levels. There are 55 universities in the United States that spend over $500 million per year on research. It is that cutting edge infrastructure combined with government support through initiatives like the National Science Foundation, the National Institutes of Health, and the National Endowment for the Arts that helps to drive US leadership in these fields. Students who study in the United States learn many of these skills and processes and bring them back here to India, where they help shape and drive Indian success. These are exciting partnerships and represent growing possibilities for India and the United States. Higher education partnerships between India and the US have grown in scale and scope, along with the increasing political and economic interactions between our two countries. Binational organizations like the US-India Educational Foundation, UCF, do extensive work promoting academic exchanges and collaborations through the Fulbright Narrow and other Fulbright fellowships. Furthermore, to assist prospective students, the U.S. Department of State offers free advising services at the Education USA centers across India, including at the American Center here in Kolkata. Our advising is always free of charge. Plus, you can visit our library and check out our extensive resources. And we do encourage educational institutions across our East and Northeast India to become institutional members of our American Library that gives your students access to a broad range of resources online. I hope that you will make it a point to stop at the American Center someday or contact my team there in order to talk about collaborations and how we can connect with your students and they can connect with our programs. As you've heard, or as you may know, there are a record number of Indian students studying in the United States. They make up 21% of the international students that are studying in the US. There are almost 200,000, although that was an old number. There were almost 200,000 students that were in the US in the 2021-2022 academic year, which was a 19% increase over the previous year. The numbers for this year are even higher, and we had a record-breaking number of student visas that were issued again this year. Making sure that those students get a positive return on their higher education investment is an important consideration for them and their families. And that return is both financial and non-financial. Those students who are infused with the idea that learning is a lifelong pursuit and know how to continually challenge, collaborate, and connect with a global community of peers far beyond the period of their formal education are the ones who are the most likely to attain both the financial and non-financial rewards from their US education. As Hippocrates said so long ago, ars longa, vita brevis, or life is short and art is long. Whatever your art may be, a whole lifetime will never be enough to truly master it. We must strive to develop the intellectual humility, hunger, and curiosity to be a lifetime student in the pursuit of mastering our art to keep on progressing the journey of sustainable development. On that journey, the United States and India are the best of travel buddies. There are few bilateral relationships in the world as broad, complex, or rich in substance as ours. We collaborate on every level on a range of broad, important issues, whether it's education, defense, music, counterterrorism, non-proliferation, art, cybersecurity, trade, investment, energy, the environment, health, agriculture, space, the oceans, or any of 1,000 intellectual topics. We're doing so together in an effort to build a sustainable future and a better world for our next generation. So thank you again, CII, for providing the platform for all of the thought leaders that are gathered here to work on these ideas. And I look forward to hearing from all of you about how we can collaborate in order to advance the goals of both the United States and India for our future leaders. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam, for outlining the rich process of Indo-American higher education collaboration. And you have rightly focused at the pan-Indian level. But let me, Madam, assure you that West Bengal is also ready to take advantage of this process. Let me put on record that West Bengal is the only province which has 2 universities consistently figuring in the first top 10 of the national NIRF ranking, and also 8 colleges which also feature consistently in the top 20 or 30 in the national in the NIRF ranking. So we are ready, and we do look forward to receiving your help and support in opening the doors of our educational institutions to the process of Indo-US academic collaboration. Thank you, Madam. I now have the pleasure of introducing another distinguished diplomat, Mr. Kevin Goh, the Honorable Deputy Consul General in the Australian Consulate in Kolkata. A career diplomat and public servant, Kevin had previously served the Australian diplomatic missions in Cairo, Dhaka, and Bangkok. In Australia itself, he has the rich experience of working in several government agencies. He has worked in the programs related to the Pacific climate change, environmental and disaster risk reduction, refugee resettlement, and international student policy. Interestingly, before joining the diplomatic service, Mr. Goh also had a stint in the academic life. He had been involved with vocational education and also in secondary school education, if I'm correct. We do hope that he and Honorable Consul General Rowan Ainsworth will contribute towards making West Bengal an effective partner in Australia's expanding diplomatic, educational, cultural, and economic relationship with the whole of Eastern and Northeastern India. Thank you very much, Mr. Goh, for being with us. And could I please request to make your submission?
Thank you, Professor Das, and thank you to CII and the Government of Bengal for organizing this symposium. I'm very happy to be here today, but also very humbled to be invited to join such a distinguished panel of academic prestige here, and also my colleague, Ms. Pavak. So it's a great opportunity for me to be here today. But as Professor Dash mentioned, it's also something that's very close to my heart to speak about education and international education in particular, because as he mentioned, before joining the Foreign Service, I did spend several years working in international and transnational education in a number of different areas. And they were truly a diverse range of experiences. So for example, I designed cultural education programs for refugees in refugee camps who are about to come to Australia, in order to ensure that they were able to best settle into a strange new country and make the best of the opportunities that they were going to receive. I also taught English as a foreign and second language to students and pupils of all ages, from young children up to university level. So, as well as post-colonial literature in secondary schools. So I've very close and inspiring experience of working with individuals. So I've seen close hand the benefits and the impact that cooperation between institutions and between countries in education can have at all levels. The impact it has on individuals in giving them the opportunities to improve their lives and their families' lives, as well as on institutions, for the communities that they live in, and of course on the nations as a whole. And just as Ms. Pavek did, I'll later come to speaking about the incredibly diverse and thriving bilateral relationship between Australia and India as a whole. But of course, all these levels involved in education in the individuals, the institutions, the communities that they exist in, and on the countries, the nations. All of them involve numerous stakeholders. And of course, we can't actually forget one of the main stakeholders, the governments themselves, both at the national level and in certain countries like India and Australia, the state and territory governments. Now, all the stakeholders have different roles and interests involved, but we all can, indeed, we must work together to maximize the benefits of education for individuals and for the broader communities. And at the individual level, the growing breadth and depth of the relationship between India and Australia is visibly clear. Currently, almost 1 lakh Indians are studying in Australia right now, and they are currently the second largest group of international students, making up about 20% of our international student numbers. One of the great privileges of my job, as most diplomats here will know, is to be able to go out and meet and speak to not only prospective students who are thinking of going to study overseas, but also to alumni, the many Indian students who have previously studied or lived in Australia and returned to India, including to West Bengal. And it's certainly safe for me to say that generally they speak about how the experience was a very positive one, that Australia was a safe and supportive and inclusive place to study, much more than the formal qualifications obtained. The alumni speak of the value they've received from the experience of living, working, and socializing in a different cultural environment, of how it encouraged their creativity and their resilience, and how that has stood them in very good stead in their subsequent careers, families, and lives, no matter what the actual field of professional endeavor they had chosen. And like all good relationships, of course, it goes both ways. These students have contributed so much to the diversity and the richness of the Australian communities and universities and institutions in which they have studied and in which they have lived and worked. And our country and our cities and our institutions have become so much better for having them there. And just as students are coming from India, the Australian government is also supporting and encouraging Australian students to undertake study and internships in India. So, for example, our new Colombo Plan program includes scholarships which support Australian students to study and take internships in other countries. The focus is mainly on Southeast Asia and the Pacific Island region. However, several students over the life of the program have come to study in India. This year in 2023, 5 new Colombo Plan scholarships have enabled Australian students to come to study undergraduate studies in India. And we hope the program we expect and hope the program will continue to grow as it develops. So that's at the individual level, but more importantly as well, equally importantly at the institutional level, the links are also strong and they're growing. Professor Mittal referred to this point, which I will also speak about. The partnerships between Australian and Indian institutions, including universities, are continuing to thrive. So since 2007 to 2021, the number of partnerships, formal partnerships, such as MOUs and MOAs and letters of agreement, have between Australian and Indian higher education institutions have increased 5-fold between that period. As of 2021, Australian higher education institutions had over 430 active formal partnerships with Indian counterparts. We are expecting to see them grow. So, for example, the momentum is certainly picking up. Earlier this year, as I'm sure most of you will be aware, two further Australian institutions announced partnerships to open campuses in India, Deakin University and Wollongong University, one each in our two most populated states, announced opening campuses in Gujarat. So we certainly expect that more will follow, particularly now that the University Grants Commission, as Professor Mittal mentioned, the UGC has developed draft guidelines on partnerships with overseas universities in India. So, but returning to the existing partnerships between Australian and Indian institutions, most importantly, out of the 430 plus, the biggest single type was academic and research collaboration. So that's clearly the area of biggest interest and priority. Following that in number were student mobility agreements, also a very important area, and faculty and staff exchanges. So I'd like now to go up to the next level, up beyond there to the national and government level. So bilaterally, Australia has, at the national level, Australia has a clear approach to international education, which we've articulated in our Australian Strategy for International Education, which covers the period 2021 to 2030. The strategy was launched in November 2021, just as the world was emerging from the global pandemic. And like most countries, the pandemic resulted in significant changes to the delivery and approach to education worldwide, and they did in Australia. The pandemic, which included things such as the closures of borders and closures of schools and universities, the shift to home and remote education, mixed modes, including allowing students to undertake some parts of their courses at home remotely, others in person. All these had a significant impact on how learning is delivered. There was therefore a clear need in 2021 as the world moved towards the next step in evolving with the pandemic, to set a new direction that reflected this new reality, and one that was sustainable and long-term. And one critical element of developing our new international education strategy was that it was developed very much with the needs of the various stakeholders right at front and center. The government actively sought input from all involved stakeholders, obviously students and student associations, but also staff and professional bodies, peak bodies, including the Universities Australia and other industry bodies, education institutions and providers themselves, industry, skills and business, also importantly, the community groups, and of course, Australian state and territory governments. Over 1,600 stakeholders were consulted and over 120 written submissions were made. This demonstrates clearly how involved and engaged the education sector stakeholders in Australia were and are continuing to be involved. So as we move towards implementing this strategy, we know that ongoing engagement and careful collaboration between governments and industry and other stakeholders is essential to ensure that development is sustainable and that implementation is sustainable. to support long-term beneficial growth to the sector for all the stakeholders involved. And we'll continue to consult and work with all stakeholders, including, as I said, the communities who house and host the institutions and the students who are, while they are living there, including women, our indigenous peoples, and other underrepresented and vulnerable groups. And one of the international strategies' key priorities is the promotion of transnational and international education. Australia's experiences expanding into offshore markets to date highlights the importance of working together to support new models and partnerships and modes as they emerge. It also highlights the importance of bilateral government-to-government collaboration. And this brings me back to where I started, the close bilateral relationship between India and Australia. Many of you will be aware that at the highest level, our two countries have a comprehensive strategic partnership, or CSP, announced in June in 2020. Among many areas, the CSP supports closer education ties between India and Australia. We aim to deepen cooperation and collaboration across a wide range of areas, but they include education and research, as well as, of course, trade, security, and many other areas. Under the CSP, the two countries have committed to keep working together to promote student and staff mobility, joint research projects, and collaboration between universities and research institutions. So this includes the establishment of joint research centers and partnerships between the universities of both countries. The CSP also includes a focus on vocational education and training, or VET, skills development, because of course they are a very important component of sustainable development. Universities are an essential part, but so is technical and skills education, and both are equally important in our approach. Greater support and cooperation between countries on vocational education and training and skills development can help to strengthen the workforce capabilities and ensure that the economic benefits of this closer cooperation flows to a greater proportion of the population of both countries. So this will include developing joint VET programs with the active involvement of industry stakeholders to ensure that the needs of industry are met, and to exchange best practices in the areas of workforce planning and workforce training and skills development. Overall, the CSP provides a framework for greater collaboration and cooperation between Australia and India in education and training broadly, by leveraging the comparative strengths of both countries to promote greater exchange and partnership. The CSP will help to deepen ties between the two countries and also support the development of a more integrated and globally engaged and skilled workforce. I'll also mention something that most of you will, I'm sure, be aware already, but it's something that we think is significant to highlight. So earlier this year in March, at the last visit of Australia's Education Minister, Jason Clare, to India, we signed with Minister Dharmendra Pradhan a framework mechanism for mutual recognition of qualifications. This mechanism will help to ease the mobility of students between the two countries, and easier recognition of qualifications is a significant benefit to some of the main stakeholders in education, industry and business included. This is a fundamental enabler of student, graduate, and education provider mobility, and will support access to further development for both industry and institutions in both countries. The framework establishes recognition arrangements to facilitate mobility between the two countries, particularly in higher education, and reduces recognition barriers. It also commits to information sharing and establishes an effective and sustainable means for cooperation on an ongoing basis. They also announced the Australia-India Strategic Research Fund, AISRF. By the way, I apologize for the copious use of abbreviations, but I think all experienced university academics know that you can never have too many abbreviations and acronyms. So the AISRF, the Australia-India Strategic Research Fund, is a joint initiative between the Australian and Indian governments. And this supports collaborative research projects between Australian and Indian researchers in areas of mutual priority, including health, clean energy, climate change, and agriculture. I'd also like to start to close by sharing that Australia has opened the new Centre for Australia-India Relations, or CAIR, CAIR, which will oversee the awarding of new scholarships, which are called the Maitri scholarships. These comprehensive scholarships at postgraduate level at the moment are only for Indian students. They're not an international program. They're specifically for Indian students who are enrolled in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM-related study, advanced manufacturing, critical technology, critical minerals, and clean energy solutions. So in this first year of operations, the Centre is inviting Australian universities to nominate candidates for applying for these scholarships. So if any of your institutions have partnerships with Australian universities, you should certainly consider encouraging them to encourage their students to consider applying. So these are just some of the increasing avenues for collaboration on research and higher education between Australia and India. They will help both our economies and people to sustainably grow by promoting innovative research to create jobs, reduce production costs, improve productivity, and support trade and innovation. And it doesn't end there. So I can end by highlighting that among the many engagements at the high levels of government between our two countries, so far there have been 15 and counting visits by Australian senior ministers, including the Prime Minister to India, and 5 visits by Indian ministers to Australia. These include, as I mentioned, our Federal Education Minister, Claire, who visited in March. But he obviously found it a very good visit because I can say that he's coming again in just a few days. So in the next week, I think we can expect closer engagement and closer announcements. So watch this space. And all of this can be achieved with the close collaboration and active support of industry, institutions, and members of the communities involved. So it's truly an exciting time to be involved in the Australia-India relationship. And thank you for your attention this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Go, for outlining the various contours of Indo-Australian higher education relationship, which are being beneficial to both the countries. Thank you very much. Could I now hand over the floor to Mr. Rudra Shankar Roy, the thought leader and academic ambassador of IBM, to share his thoughts with us. A Kolkata-born Zavarian, Mr. Roy is a renowned steel technologist and metallurgist with an engineering degree from IIEST, formerly known as V. Shipur College. Subsequently, he studied at Northeastern University and Harvard University. With a 25+ years of experience, Mr. Rudra is currently the General Manager, Global SME, and thought leader with asset and manufacturing organization in IBM's consulting, finance, and supply chain transformation practice. Mr. Rudra is honorary guest faculty for such prestigious management and engineering institutes as Sheffield University, the Indian Institute of Management, Kolkata, IIT Kanpur, NIT Trichy, IMI Kolkata, SIBM, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, Xavier's Business School, Sister Nivedita University, St. Xavier's College, St. Joseph's University, and Christ University. Mr. Rudra Shankar Roy, please.
So, first of all, let me thank CII for giving me this opportunity to share my submission over here. And I thank all my co-panelists as well as Professor Suranjan Das. I must say, is a platform to share, and I will spice up a little bit on my submission because I come from the industry. And I'm not an educationalist, but still the industry connects with education. So that's where the today's needs are. And I'm going to talk about some of the things that academia can collaborate with the industry and the government. And based on the submission, my previous panelists, they have shared. And I felt that some of the things which Bengal can do. And Bengal is the pioneer of, I must say, cultivating the talents worldwide. And that's the reason we can see most of the eminent personalities today in the world are from Bengal. And not only that, the people in the dais, I can see Dr. Bose, Dr. Das, they are the, not only that, and even from the audience, I can see many faces who are the standalone brand ambassador for Bengal in the world. And I think they deserve a big hand for that. Today's context of industry is, when I remember 26 years back when I was just passing out for the college, we used to roam around and knock the door of the industry to get some opportunity to do our internship or something like that. So those days are gone. Now industry is knocking to the institutions because that's where we are producing, because this is a supply demand kind of mechanism, right? So unless the institution produce the students, we cannot run the industry. That's for sure. Because that's where we need to cultivate the students in such a way wherein they understand the need of the industry. That's where the collaboration lies today. And I would appreciate in terms of the various points that I have noted while the other speakers were having their deliberations. So just we are integrating if the curriculum can be based on the industry alignment, because the demand that is coming from the industry is also the demand which the industry is getting from their clienteles. Now, if that can be mapped back to the academia, so that will be the wise way to go. It is not that everybody will have a standard kind of curriculum where they have to be an engineer, they have to be a doctor, they have to be something like that. So there are a lot of ways now the industry demanding. So we hire someone who are good in paintings because that's where our design thinking starts with, right? So there are a lot of opportunities, but the problem is with the parents, right? The parents are always the helicopter parents. So they roam around on the top of the people and they think, okay, you have to go with this standard path of academia, right? So let it be a free flow. That's what my submission, and because that's where the government and the institution need to do the branding of those skills, which need to be reskills, upskills based on the industry requirements. So one thing I would like to submit here, that the understanding of the point of view of industry is very critical in today's aspect because it is volatile and it is changing every now and then based on the volatility and the demand volatility of the industry today, right? Because we have seen pandemic, we never thought of wearing a mask. That's the producer of the mask. Now it is not in the demand of the market today, right? Because what we have seen, there are many instances where the LGBTQ and DNEI, right? They are coming to the industry. If the government or I think Mrs. Melinda has talked about, Mr. Goh has talked about, and being an organization which is we work for is an yes, we have headquartered in the US, that's a different thing, but we are putting a lot of effort in terms of the CSR academia. So when it comes to the CSR academia, we are helping the institutions not only to grow and nurture them, we were giving an opportunity where they can participate on the work that we were doing today. In terms of the various hackathon, ideation, the industry researches, we are inviting the institutions, the students from the various institutions worldwide, they can exchange their thoughts. They can understand the industry trend. They can understand the structure they are going to deliver after they are passing out from the colleges or the institutions, right? And this is all aligned to the SDG goals, definitely, because it is not about producing the talent. It is about how we can sustain those talent. So industry is feeling a lot of attritions in the various ways, but sustaining the talent is our necessity today because it helps us to grow the organization. It helps us, the industry, to think aloud on the various dynamics. And I won't take much time because I think we are in the top of the hours. But what I would suggest, like if we can have a diversified skill sets in many institutions, which will be based on the JRSS of the industry. So that will be aligned with the job roles and responsibilities that the industry is looking forward, that kind of collaboration. And everybody has heard about the IBM skill build, right? We have signed recently 8 MOUs with the Ministry of Education in India. We have been doing all over the world as a skill builds and as a part of our CSR academia. And this is an opportunity where the students can get the certificate in terms of the digital accreditations, which they can put in their profiles and other things. And it is across the stream. It is not that, okay, engineering guys will do or some other streams will do. This is across the streams, they can do that kind of training. And it is more of a Gen AI and the future AI kind of things, which industry is demanding today, and also the quantum, right? So we were looking in terms of setting up the various labs. We are looking in the studio environment where actually we deliver to the client from the industry perspective, and that kind of environment can be co-created and collaborated with the industries, along with the government and with the educational institutions over here. And yes, Bengal is ready for the future leaders. So also we need to have a mechanism in terms of how we can retain those future leaders in Bengal. So that's my submission to the government, because if we can't retain those leaders, because they are going out and we have to retain them in some means. So yes, that can be one of the aspects where they can work and co-create and collaborate with the industries. The other submission will be, we need to look for the small pilot projects, and Professor Das is here and other eminent leaders are here. So if we can look in terms of the ease of implementation of those pilot projects, because if it is easy to implement with the maximum benefits, so that will help a lot for the industry as well as for the government. And let's connected the education model in terms of the requirement that is setting up with the various COE, the Center of Excellence, and the CIC kind of models. And let's understand where, because now we are all talking about the gender equality, right? We talked about the STEMs, we talked about the gender equality and other things. Let's integrate those in a part of the curriculum, and let's have an intellectual conservations. I would emphasize on that, how we can do an intellectual conservations in Bengal in terms of the talent, in terms of the resource pool, in terms of the co-creating things with the industry so that we can ask the industry to come and have a hands-on with the various MOUs. I think MOUs not only for the signing purpose. I would urge government that those MOUs which has been signed, I think in the morning session talked about the 47. So let's understand the implementation of those MOUs in the near term and the future term. And that's what I would like to submit over here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roy, for emphasizing the University Industry Partnership Program and ending on the right note that MOU should not be a piece of paper. Thank you. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce the next speaker in the panel, Dr. Subarna Bose, the Chief Mentor of the International Institute of Hotel Management. Dr. Subarna Bose is a chartered accountant with 25 plus years of entrepreneurial experience in different locations across the globe. He is a founder and chief mentor of the IndiSmart Group. Dr. Bose launched the Institute of Advanced Management in 1989, and in 1994, he founded the International Institute of Hotel Management. He is a hospitality evangelist and one of the country's best-known hospitality educators. Under his leadership, the IndiSmart Group has developed an ambitious project in collaboration with National Skill Development Corporation to provide vocational training to the unskilled and semi-skilled personnel. Dr. Bose is currently a member of the Education, Tourism, Hospitality Management Committees of various chambers of commerce and industry, including the CII and BCCI. Dr. Bose has been awarded the Asia Pacific Entrepreneurship Award as the chairman of the IIHM Hotel School by Enterprise Asia. Dr. Bose, please.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Sharanjanda. What a time to come and speak. Everybody must be hungry. So, looking at the time, I won't be really taking too much of time. First of all, thanks to the government of West Bengal and CII for giving the opportunity to speak to this very, very interesting topic on international collaboration. In fact, very interestingly, in 1996, we are the first institution in India who have an in-country delivery agreement with a British university that time, Robert Gordon, which is still in the history as the first ever in-country delivery by any university for an undergrad program in India. So I think international collaboration is something which we all spoke about, the advantages. But I think coming from the hospitality, it is a global industry as such. In fact, if you go to anywhere in the world, you get the people working there are mostly from our country, from India. Just like in IT, hospitality and the food industry is now almost monopolized by the Indians, and in a great way. I landed from London about five hours back, and last 5 days in London, I must be in the at least 20 restaurants, big, small, Michelin star, street food, and about 70% of the people are from India, whether they are chef or whether they are serving or whether in the front of the house. So as such, we are talking about global collaboration, but in some industry, it has already taken place. I think food and IT are one of those. In fact, that when we talk about a global collaboration, it's not about a university. We work with University of West London. We work with many universities. And I'm so happy to have Professor Kanad Basu with me out here, and his college, Thunderbird College of Global Management, and IIHM would be signing a historic MOU on Monday, where we'll be skilling 3,000 students of IIHM in Bengal. Melinda is here, and she has been an witness to what we work with Access program of United States, where we train the underprivileged young people of English language under the aegis of the American Center. The different kind of collaboration work in education, it's not just about two universities or two institutions. We spoke about sustainability, which is the theme of the seminar today. And we have got such a great presentation by Madam before in the main session. But what I want to just add on here is also we need to speak about the social sustainability. We talk about the 17 SDGs, which at IIHM is one of our prime theme. In fact, you can see my tie. It's the sustainability tie of United Nations with all the 17 goals. So we just not wear it, we do it. But what is more important, apart from the 17th goal, the partnership, is about the social sustainability. Social sustainability is the soul of any organization. And when we talk about education, I think that is even more important. We have seen that if you don't look after your own people, you need to support the local community. You need to make sure that your own employees, your own suppliers, your own teachers, your own students, and the entire community that we work on is looked with a strong strength that gives the social sustainability. And social sustainability incidentally leads to economic sustainability. So while we talk about the 17 goals and the application, which is very important, I think the social sustainability is something which should be taught in all the schools, colleges, and universities. It's very important. We have got to just open a new campus in Singapore this year. And we have got campuses in Bangkok. We have got a campus in Uzbekistan. And interestingly, in Uzbekistan, sustainability from this year is introduced as a major subject in the schools. In the schools, which is very important from class 6, just like physics, chemistry, mathematics, history. So which will make the citizens of tomorrow truly sustainable and not a lip service. They will truly support the community. They will truly look forward the social part of the sustainability. They will look for life underwater. I was in UK and I was surprised to see half the people are not eating salmon anymore because it's getting extinct. So life underwater is very important. So all these things are important from the educational perspective as much as it is from the industrial perspective. I think talking a little bit about the collaboration, we had a collaboration under the Erasmus where a lot of funding came and our students went as much as in 4 countries and did their work on the research project about how to grow food in a very, very cold Iceland. In a very cold climate of Iceland, how to grow food. That was the project. And 4 countries. And in India was represented by IIHM. We have got Turkey, Jordan, UK, and France. And the fund came from the European Union. So this kind of collaborations are also equally important. We talk about collaboration also at a operational level. We have got a company called Wine and Spirit Educational Trust, short WSET, which is world's largest wine and spirit educator. Yeah, we all like wines and spirit, right? Come on, guys, almost finishing. So the Wine and Spirit Education Trust gives the certification for the students. And we are one of the biggest training partner of the WSET in the world. In the world. Not because Indians drink the highest amount of whiskey in the world, which is a fact. So the kind of collaboration that helps our young people are very important because young people are the future. And we are all here for the young people. And this global world today is leading us to a completely borderless kind of a world, a planet, where we talk about not countries, but we talk about the world as a whole. And I think we have seen in the G20 summit, the huge success of the G20 summit and the NAP that we are going towards the right connection, as Madam told about the foreign collaborations and how the government of India is supporting the foreign collaborations. And we at Bengal, as I think, are the flag bearers, the torch bearers of the education. And this collaboration will definitely help us. So thank you very much. And let's also us talk about social sustainability as much as the 17 SDGs. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bush, for outlining the potentials of academic collaboration in the food industry, particularly the wine and spirit industry that you referred to. And I was particularly impressed by the fact that you rightly linked international cooperation with social and economic sustainability. Thank you, Dr. Bush. Now, we have online Dr. Thapa, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Kathmandu University. And an MOU online will be signed, it has already been signed, it will be exchanged between Adamas University and Kathmandu University. Could I now request our Honorable Chancellor of Adamas University, the Registrar of Adamas University, to come up to the stage and show the MOU to Dr. Thapa. Dr. Thapa, could you also please show the MOU on the screen? Now, India and Nepal has a very close historical and cultural relationship. And this MOU between Adamas University, which has been a pioneer in the internationalization of Indian higher education, and Kathmandu University, which also has pioneered Nepal's internationalization of education, will be a new entry point. Could I request Honorable Chancellor to say one word, and then I will request Dr. Thapa also to say one word, please.
Thank you, Mr. Thapa. Actually, Adamas University already signed too many of MOUs, almost more than 92 with the 92 university. And then next, I think that this sign also will help us to create the relation with the neighboring countries also. So we are very much looking forward the agreement and the exchange program, students exchange program. At the same time, I will invite you come as early as possible to visit the campus. I think that you will enjoy the campus also, and the people of the West Bengal also will welcome you. Thank you.
Dr. Thapa, thank you very much for being on the online. Of course, we would have loved to welcome you physically. You have been a very good friend of mine for ages. Dr. Thapa, could we please hear some words from you?
Thank you very much, Professor Das, Honorable Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, all the delegates. It's a really honor for Kathmandu University to sign a MOU with the Adamas University and then exchange this MOU on this very prestigious occasion. I have been able to listen to some of the presenters, and then what we have been talking about, the internationalization and the globalization of the higher education. Kathmandu University also really feel that this is the need of the time. And then we have also signed the MOU with the Adamas University. We have an agreement with the MOU with the several Indian universities, and we also have a joint program with some of the universities. Hope that this MOU that we can really bring it into the new age, and then many partners in India that we can work together. On this occasion, I would also like to mention that Kathmandu University is hosting the Association of Indian Universities North Zone Vice Chancellors Conference in February 2024. I would like to welcome the Indian the guests or our friends to attend this program if you can make it. Once again, I would like to thank Professor Das that you have really did a very hard work to this MOU to be signed, and we really look forward to work together in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Thapa. Thank you, Honorable Chancellor, Professor Shomit Roy of Adams University. May I now take the opportunity of inviting the last but not the least speaker of the session, Dr. Kanod Priyo Basu, the Professor of Practice, Data Science and Leadership Development at the School of Global Management, Arizona State University, to make his submission. Dr. Basu was just telling me that he was a student when I was the Vice Chancellor of Calcutta University. Nice thing after a long time. Dr. Basu has over 18 years of analytics and data science experience spanning across academia and industry. He currently leads the Global Business Analytics Executive Program at Thunderbird School of Global Management at Arizona State University, with which an MOU has just been signed today with the state government. He has also worked at Madalia, where he had a data science team that focused on building a consumer behavioral intelligence and benchmarking platform. Dr. Basu holds a doctorate in applied and computational mathematics and has multiple publications, patents, and book chapters around big data analytics and statistical applications in the field of mathematical biology and mathematical finance. Dr. Basu, could I please request you to make a submission? Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Professor Dash. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me here with such a distinguished audience. As Ms. Pavek was telling, like the influx of Indian students going to United States, I'm one of the products of the best education system of India and United States. So I have a particular subject that I would like to focus on and try to be on time and finish my speech here. So they asked me to talk about the innovation in education leadership, navigating challenges in the digital age. So thank you, CIA, for and Higher Education Department for inviting me here. As Professor Das mentioned, I'm the head of the AI Emerging Technology at Thunderbird School of Global Management. So my mind works very analytical way. So I'll do it by point. It may sound like a classroom, but it is not, you know. That's the way I work the best, you know. So we find ourselves in an era of unprecedented change and transformation in the digital age, right? The digital age has brought about profound shift in how we work, how we live, and how we learn. Education is not exempt from this change. It is the leaders in education. We must rise to the occasion, embrace the innovation and the change, and navigate the challenge that comes with it. So let's begin with acknowledging the impact of digital age, the new digital age. So I'll go by point wise. The first one is technology is the new norm. So we can deny this fact that technology is the future, right? So the presence of technology is everywhere today, like any daily life. So we use a smartphone, tablet, computer, you name it. So we have to admit that this is the new norm. Blended learning. The digital age has unleashed in an era of blended learning, combining classroom teaching with online resources and interactive platform. This particular hybrid offers flexibility for both students and the teachers. Global connectivity, this is a huge, the internet has connected us, the classroom across the globe, defining the barrier, the boundaries, fostering collaboration, cultural exchange, and a broader presence on education. So another thing that is here the one of the point of the current digital age is the digital divide. This is particularly very problematic given that not students have the equal access to the technology and the internet. Privacy, security, this is huge to close of my heart, because with the digital age comes with some problem and challenges. The huge, big challenge is the safeguarding our student privacy and security, securing the educational platform against cyber threat. You know, data privacy is a huge topic that is close to my heart. And teacher preparedness. Many educators are not fully prepared to embrace and leverage the potential of digital tools. Comprehensive training is necessary for them to excel in this digital age. And not last but not the least, information overload. So say, for example, I try to learn something, I'll go to the Google and then try to find out, maybe I want to learn how to make chicken curry, right? So I type on the Google and there are like 200 pages of chicken curry recipe cards. I don't know which one to select. So we have to make sure that we teach our students like not only what to learn, but how to learn, how to weed out the information that is not needed, what is the best resource. So this is very important. Now, how we address this the educational leadership can navigate these challenges in the digital age. So some of the suggestions I will try to present here. Digital inclusion. This is huge. As I mentioned, this is a challenge and how to come with the solution. Education leader must work diligently to bridge the gap of the digital divide. This means we need to provide the student, regardless of their background, they have the internet access, they have the laptop, they have the connection, digital literacy program, all kind of this kind of things. Data-driven digital, making the second point I'd like to mention as a solution, harnessing the power of data analytics can help leaders to make informed decisions. What I mean by that, this can range from tracking student progress and optimizing the allocation of resources, that where to engage what kind of research to help the student the best. Third is teaching development. So digital teaching is completely different from classroom teaching. So we need to make sure that our teachers are fully prepared for this new change. They learn the new technology regularly because technology is changing every day, every hour. Comprehensive professional development program, we need to some kind of develop that will help the teacher to use all the resources and digital tools to make sure that they're effective in the digital classroom. You know, again, as I mentioned before, digital teaching and classroom teaching is very different. Curriculum innovation, again, classroom curriculum and digital curriculum are not exactly the same. There are a lot of overlap, but we need to make sure that this is very smoothly done. Education leaders should continually review and update the curriculum to incorporate digital literacy for all, not only for the student, for the teachers as well. Cybersecurity and privacy, as I mentioned, our platform needs to be like super strong against the cyber threat, and leader must implement robust cybersecurity measures and adhere to the strict privacy regulation. Global collaboration, that is what we are doing right now, encourage international partnership, exchange program to prepare students for global world. This helps in breaking down the cultural barrier and fostering global perspective. One of the things that I must say that is a huge challenge for navigating in the digital age about global collaboration is the cultural differences. And I honestly don't know what is the answer to address this issue. In conclusion, the digital age present education with both exciting possibilities and complex challenges. Educational leadership is the compass guiding us through this uncharted territory. By addressing these challenges head on, embracing innovation and ensuring inclusivity, we can shape a future of education that equips students with the skill and the knowledge they need to thrive in a rapidly changing world. As education leader, we have a profound responsibility to prepare the next generation for the challenges and the opportunity of digital age. Let us embrace this task with dedication, adaptability, and a commitment to provide the best possible education for all. Thank you. And this is the one of the reason we come here. As our dean mentioned, that we are going to open a center of excellence in Calcutta with the help of Education Ministry here from Thunderbird at Arizona State University. We are signing a historic MOU on Monday with IIHM and many others. Thanks to Dr. Bush for the tremendous help. A lot of activity you can see in next couple of months from Thunderbird at Calcutta, because I believe in educational education should be for all. You know, that is the way we can walk into the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Basu, for reiterating the opportunities of digital age, as well as reminding us about the challenges of the digital age, and also the responsibilities of the academic community to be aware of both. Thank you very much. We have come to the end of the session. Now is the time for the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Das, for this insightful session and the summing up. I would like to thank our distinguished panelist and moderator, Professor Suranjan Das, for his insightful contribution. Before we end this session, I would request Professor Suranjan Das to give an acknowledgement certificate and convey our heartiest gratitude to the dignitaries. May I request our esteemed panelists to step forward and receive this gesture. Ms. Melinda Pavik, Consulate General of the USA. Mr. Kevin Goh, Deputy Consul General, Australian Consulate General. Dr. Kanit Priya Basu, Professor of Practice, Data Science and Leadership Development, Thunderbird School of Global Management, Arizona State University, USA. Dr. Shuburno Bose, Chief Mentor, IIHM. We can continue the applause. I know we're all hungry, but we'll sum up in a while. Dr. Rudra Shankar Roy, Thought Leader and Academic Ambassador, IBM. Now, to present the memento to Ms. Professor Suranjan Das, Vice Chancellor, Adams University, may I request Dr. Shuburno Bose to give the memento and acknowledgement certificate to himself. Thank you once again, everyone, for being a great audience and sharing your valuable insight and being patient and contributing silently to understand and to engage yourself to this momentous occasion. Once again, thank you, our esteemed panelists and moderator. Your expertise ensures a brighter future for higher education. Before we pause for the forthcoming session, I would request all of you to please join us for lunch at Raj Manch. And we meet again for the forthcoming session at 3:30 OAM. Thank you. And with this happy note, I would like to say thank you and my heartfelt gratitude for being here. Thank you once again.
मिलाते झिलमिलाते हाथ मिलके चमचमाते ओ बाबू की बत्ती जलाएंगे हम।
बच्चे कहाँ है? ये तो उधर ही थे।
झिलमिलाते झिलमिलाते।
मम्मी नेचर पावर बच्चों के नजरिए से देखो तो एक अलग ही जहां दिखेगा। तो आइए ऐसे इमेजिनेशन को बढ़ावा दें एक्सिस बैंक स्प्लैश के साथ, क्योंकि जब दिल होगा ओपन तो जहां होगा।
लाइफ इतनी फास्ट, फिर बैंकिंग में समझौता क्यों? Switch to SBI Digital Banking Services for fast and secure banking.
Want to witness how an unknown place becomes your second home? Let's watch a spectacle.
10,000 plus students have chosen Brainware. Do you know why it is a trusted name among students and parents? Received by Brainware University in 2022 for academic excellence. These achievements are a result of Brainware University's objective to cast a transformative light on society by imparting quality education to the students. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. At Brainware University, we study hard but play harder. How do we distress ourselves?
With my friends and teachers, we are a happy family at Brainware.
We care, trust Brainware.
Join us. Be a part of this vibrant campus life.
Double the joy with Canara Bank. Canara Home Loan and Canara Car Loan. 100% waiver on processing charges, documentation charges. You deserve the best. Canara Bank. Together we can.
It all started in the year 1920 when some eminent industrialists of Kolkata founded the Marwari Balika Vidyalaya. Later, in 1954, Sri Shikshapan School was founded, and in 1955, Sri Shikshapan College came into being with the objective of further propagating quality education to girls. All these institutions have continued to excel under the management of the Shikshapan Foundation.
The year was 1920, when some of my forefathers thought that female education needed to be propagated much more actively than was the custom in those days. The latest addition to our bouquet of institutions has been the Calcutta Business School, which was started a few years ago.
Calcutta Business School offers an AICTE-approved, autonomous, 2-year full-time residential program on postgraduate diploma in management. If excelling is your essence, then you are welcome to Calcutta Business School. Center of Excellence, centered on excellence.
त्योहार है, घर में नया फर्नीचर ले आते हैं।
दीवारों में मैचिंग कलर भी तो करना होगा।
यहाँ एसी भी तो लगना चाहिए। HDFC बैंक एक्सप्रेस पे आ गया है ना।
अब इतना कर ही रहे हैं तो दुकान में नई मशीन भी लगवा लेते हैं। सबके चेहरे पे रौनक लाते हैं। इस फेस्टिव ट्रीट्स जो चाहिए जल्दी से लेके आते हैं। अब इस त्योहार नो इंतजार। HDFC बैंक लाया है एक्सप्रेसवे, जहां मिलेंगे लोन्स, न्यू अकाउंट्स, कार्ड्स और उनके ऑफर्स भी झट से।
Yeah. Tap, one app to choose any bank you want. Link any bank or many banks. Yes, come on. Try this. Take your pick. Look and flick. All aboard. Scan any QR code. Tap. Get this fact. Send money to any contact. Seriously. Tap. Take it fast. Take it slow. Pay any hello. Pay any bill on the go. She's on your mind. That's right. In your heart. Really? Anytime. Say what? Get a credit card. You got it. She said yes. Get it all, no less. Dream home. Get a loan. iMobile Pay One app for anything, anyone, anytime.
Institution of Engineering and Management, Kolkata, the most acclaimed educational group amongst the industry-centered academic training organization of today. And University of Engineering and Management, Kolkata, a globally recognized educational institution known for outcome-based education and application-oriented research. IMUM Group offers courses in BTech, MTech, BCA, BBA, MCA, MBA, BBA LLB, BHM, and PhD. IMUM striving to serve the future generation and nation through its commitment towards self-sufficiency and unmatchable excellence.
Welcome to an institute where tradition combines with modernity, where innovation surmounts challenges, where knowledge emanates from research, where excellence is achieved and not pursued. Welcome to J.D. Birla Institute. This is the place where students find true mentors, create bonds for life, tread the path to succeed, and discover truth in learning. Over 50 years in the service to higher education. Our objectives have been to acquire academic knowledge and perfect professional skills in the pursuit of academic excellence, aimed at advancement into higher education, research, and extension activities. Our objective is also to avail a dynamic system structured towards varied professional and vocational applications for career design and development. Our objectives focus on developing team spirit and attainment of self-reliance, making pupils future ready. The journey began in the year 1962 when late Sushila Devi Birla, wife of eminent industrialist late Sri Ellen Birla, established a college for girls in her mother-in-law's name, Srimati Jawahari Devi Birla. From its humble beginnings, today the institute has been ranked amongst the best places of higher learning in the country by several rating agencies, including India Today, which has ranked its BCom and BBA as #1 in Kolkata, and by the Week that has ranked these two courses as #2 in Kolkata. The BBA course is among the top 10 in the country. In 2010, JDBI was awarded the highest possible grading of A by the NAC Assessment and Accreditation Council, the only private college affiliated to Jadavpur University. The institute is spread across 2 campuses. The main campus, an all-women's campus on Lower Rawdon Street, offers UG and PG courses in food science and nutrition management, textile science, clothing and fashion studies, interior design, human development, and commerce. The management co-educational campus on Moira Street hosts the Department of Management. The infrastructure of the college has state-of-the-art learning facilities. Effective teaching and learning environment is fostered through technology-supported methodology. Large lecture rooms with air conditioning and LCD projectors provide conducive learning environment. The Wi-Fi campus has impressive computer-student ratio in the 3 computer laboratories with LAN connectivity. Required state-of-the-art laboratories suited to the different course requirements are available. 250-seater convention center, a seminar hall, and an audiovisual room are available for college seminars and special lectures. The Learning Resource Centers, LRC, at the 2 campuses are completely automated with an impressive collection of over 30,000 learning resources, including books, journals, and reference materials. The Open Access LRC offers several other facilities, including borrowing, OPAC facilities, reprographic facility, place a book order, and access to other public libraries. Well-qualified and dedicated teaching faculty at the institute prepare students to face the challenges of a global environment.
It's one of the finest educational institutions, not just in India or Asia, but in the world. मैंने यहाँ की वास्तु देखी है, मैं यहाँ का जुनून देखा है, यहाँ की commitment देखी है, and let me tell you that I'm very, very impressed. इस जन्म में नहीं हो सका, लेकिन अगले जन्म में I'd like to be associated with this wonderful institution.
Placement assistance is provided to all students, and 2 specialized placement officers at the 2 campuses look into the campusing. Some well-known companies where our students are placed include ITC Limited, TCS, Wipro Limited, Deloitte, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Ernst & Young, Godrej Properties, Accenture, amongst many others. The college-aided internship in the final year is the USP of all our programs. Annual educational excursions and graduating fashion shows provide experiential learning. A variety of co-curricular and extracurricular activities are offered throughout the year to help students develop their personalities, widen their perspectives, and gain hands-on experience and lifetime learning. Don't miss the opportunity to join one of the finest institutes in Eastern India. Join J.D. Birla Institute. Open a world of opportunities, of possibilities. Achieve and succeed. Pay through UCO Bank's Smart Payment Key Fob. A go-to choice for all your simple payments. An easy and quick way to pay anytime and anywhere you like. Get the chance to experience simple and smart payment trends with UCO Bank's Smart Payment Key Fob. Grab one now and go for tap and pay shopping up to 5,000 rupees at contactless POS devices. Customer experience and smart payment style statement is revolutionized by UCO Bank like never before. UCO Bank Smart Payment Key Fob. Apply through UCO M-Banking Plus app or visit UCO Bank branch. Your digital partner. UCO Bank. Honors your trust.
पापा सोचती हूँ फॉरेन यूनिवर्सिटी से पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन कर लूँ इज इट पॉसिबल
हो जाएगा
और ट्यूशन फीस
हो जाएगा
अकोमोडेशन
हो जाएगा हो जाएगा बाय गॉड्स ग्रेस
नाउ आई वांट टू सी गॉड
हो जाएगा ये कैसे होगा
मैं दिखाऊं
आओ आओ
दैट्स माय गॉड
यूनियन बैंक एजुकेशन लोन से सब हो जाएगा
लेकिन लोन रिपेमेंट हो जाएगा ना?
हो जाएगा मैं हूं ना
एजुकेशन लोन फ्रॉम यूनियन बैंक ऑफ इंडिया अच्छे लोग अच्छा बैंक West Bengal has been home to prestigious institutions that ensure excellence in imparting quality education, producing numerous eminent intellectuals, educationists, and visionaries. In order to increase enrollment and elevate the quality of education, as well as to promote collaborations, the West Bengal government has already attracted private investment in the education sector. The motto is expansion, equity, excellence, and employability. The state government has continued to invest in the education sector with a vision of universalizing school education and providing access to technology. Multiple initiatives by the government of West Bengal have facilitated equitable accessibility and excellence in education at all levels, with a focus on experience-based learning, industry-relevant skills, and hands-on training. The West Bengal government has formally introduced vocational or skill training at the school level to ensure quality technical education, improving the chances of employment. It has been a pioneer in doing so. The government of West Bengal has well-defined policies to facilitate private investment in education. In the future, some promising investments are in the pipeline. The state has initiated the state education policy with the goal of imparting quality education in an equitable and inclusive manner. With an emphasis on research, the state offers multiple areas of collaboration in academic domains. With BGBS 2022, received an overwhelming response from investors, proposing investments of rupees 560 crores in school education and rupees 2,290 crores in higher education. 23 MOUs were signed at BGBS 2022 with international organizations and foreign universities. Delegates from the UK, Poland, Finland, Japan, Russia, and Morocco graced the summit. With a large number of quality skilled human resources, West Bengal is an ideal destination for investment in the education sector.
টোয়েন্টি years থেকে আমি অ্যাডভোকেসি লাইনে এসেছি और লাস্ট 15 বছরের মধ্যে আমি অনেক এখানে প্রোগ্রেস হয়েছে আমার গ্রুপে প্রোগ্রেস হয়েছে আর অলরেডি এখানে 15-20টা প্রাইভেট ইন্ডাস্ট্রি ইউনিভার্সিটি হয়ে গেছে আর অনেক পলিটেকনিক 150-200 পলিটেকনিক খুলেছে।
As an investor, I am very much happy in this step, and day by day we are developing many more things. So I will request all the investors on behalf of me, yes, West Bengal is a good place for the investment.
We are not, as an investor, only investing money or technology into the subject. We are creating a situation where world is expecting the best thing to happen and happen from the world.
Bengal is the best place to invest in education. Please come here, invest in business. Bengal means business. Bengal means intellects. Bengal means education.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are a bit late, not to the extent that we got late for lunch, but I think all of you are fulfilled. It's not easy to remain awake after such a sumptuous lunch, but we shall finish this session pretty soon. This session is called the Emerging West Bengal, our beautiful state, is the emerging destination of our educational investments. Our state has undergone, as you know, significant economic transformation, positioning itself as a prominent player in the nation's growth narrative. This shift, erstwhile unheard of in West Bengal, is attributed to a strategic geographical advantages of our state. We are a window to the east and northeast. Proactive government policies for more than a decade now. A skilled workforce and a thriving business atmosphere. West Bengal boasts of a large pool of skilled and educated workforce. The state's focus on education has led to the availability of a talent pool proficient in various fields, making it conducive for educational institutions to thrive. This session will focus on elucidating why West Bengal is becoming the favorite investment hub for education stakeholders. And we have a host of frontline investors in education in the state, in fact, the biggest of them. And chairing this session will be Executive Director from PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, Mr. Rama Prasad Ghosh. Would you come up and join us on stage? Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Ram Prasad when he comes up on stage, please. He is an accomplished technology and business executive with domestic and international experience in practice building, P&L, oversight, product engineering, distribution and marketing. Result-oriented, decisive leadership with a proven success in new market identification and strategic positioning. Joining Rama Prasad Ghosh on stage is Mr. Atul Khosla, founder and Vice Chancellor, Shuluni University. Atul is the Vice Chancellor at Shuluni. He drives new initiatives at Shuluni, initiating partnerships with industry and top global universities. Where's Atul? Atul Shuluni? You aren't here? Okay. We are joined by Professor Shomit Rai, Chancellor, Adamas University. Professor Shomit Rai is a well-known educationist and social reformer, the first educational model innovator and entrepreneur of Eastern India, the pioneer of professional training for competitive examinations for government jobs for quite a while now. Professor Rai is also the founder chairman of the Rice Group and the founder chancellor of Adamas University. He has been honored with many awards, such as Emeritus Professor by the University of Ukraine, special recognitions from various other places. So that's an eminent member of the panel, Shomit Rai. We are joined by the pioneer of private education, especially in the field of technology and engineering in our state, the founder, managing director of the Techno India Group, and also the founding chancellor of Sister Nivedita University, Mr. Shuttam Rai Chaudhary. Mr. Shuttam Rai Chaudhary is one of Bengal's most celebrated entrepreneurs, dedicated to the cause of widening and changing horizons of education in modern India. As I said, founder, managing director of the educational conglomerate of Behemoth in Eastern India, Techno India Group, and the chancellor of Sister Nivedita University. So we are very proud and privileged to have Mr. Satyam Rai Chaudhary on board here. We have with us the Chancellor of Christ University, Dr. Anil Joseph Pinto. Are you here? No? Oh, you are online? Is Dr. Pinto online? He'll be online. When he comes on to speak, we need to introduce him. We have with us the young director of the JIS Group, Simarpreet Singh. Simarpreet is a young entrepreneur, heart and soul. He has acquired expertise in the arena of finance and accounting over the last few years through his experience in the industry. He is a Martinian, he is a Zaverian, he is a chartered accountant, and an MBA through the SP Jain School of Global Management. He has been professionally associated with various industry bodies such as the BCCI, CII, ICC, and the Indo-Am Chamber of Commerce. We have with us Dr. Anish Chakraborty, the chairman of the CCOM Skill University. Anish is the chairman at this university, having worked in various verticals and gaining experience in the education sector. He puts emphasis on practical learning. He's currently the chairman of CCOM Marine College, Greater Kolkata area, for the last 36 years. Have I covered everyone? Yes, I have. So, now it is over to you, sir, Mr. Rama Prasad Ghosh, Executive Director, PwC, to take the session forward. Yeah, I'm rightly kind of intervened here. We would like to, in our own traditional way, welcome the panelists with the Uttoriyo, please. Please come over. We start from that side, Anish Chakraborty. Shomit Rai. Rama Prasad Ghosh. Saptam Roy Chaudhary. And Simmerpreet Singh. So, it's over to you, sir.
Good afternoon. I hope we had a great collaborative lunch, networking lunch, and I take the privilege to welcome all of you into our session. My name is Rama Prasad Ghosh. I have the privilege to lead PwC Education and Learning Technology practice. And I am today privileged to share the dais with dignitaries and founders and the well-known figures of the education domain here. I'm thankful to West Bengal government and CII for giving me this chance. Now, our topic today of deliberation is West Bengal is the emerging destination for investment, educational investment. We have these founders and dignitaries. They have shown how the investments are being done in the education sector, especially in West Bengal. Before we call them to share their views, their journey, and their vision on how the future investments are going on, I'd like to say a few words. How is the West Bengal education market? According to different data points, if I see that today the West Bengal education market size is 10.5 billion US dollar. That is close to 90,000 crore INR. And over the last 6 to 7 years, this value has grown up from $3.5 billion to $10.5 billion, which is 18% cumulative average growth. Hardly you will find any corner of this earth with having such a huge growth, especially in the education sector. 6 years back, probably in 2015-16, in West Bengal, we had only 1,100 of higher education institutes. And today, we have around 2,100. And they are serving close to 28 lakh students. And if you do the quick math, it will yield you that 1,500 students on an average per institute. And if you take the national average, 45,000 higher education institute serving 40 million students, that is 900. This tells us that in the West Bengal, there is a huge room for the new education institutes to come up and serve. And not only that, the volume of the students, size of the students, when you look at, It gives us the feeling of setting up more and more multidisciplinary institutions. According to the AICTE report, the employability of West Bengal students graduating from the West Bengal in the technical courses are 86%, which is more than the national average of 78%. So the quality of education is being delivered in the West Bengal is significantly different. The talent pool is significantly different. The state's focus on nurturing these talents through different kind of scholarships and grant program is also enabling the students to pursue their dream higher education and their career. I'll give you a small story which I encountered 2 years back. I was part of our college alumni network to finalize the list of the scholarship recipient from our alumni sponsored scholarship program. And we had the budget of giving only 50 scholarships, but we got the shortlisted name of 100 names, around 100 names. So it was a big dilemma to remove the names, how we reduce these names from 100 to 50. We are almost certain that we have to go to the alumni network and ask for the further budget. But while we are deliberating internally, one of us pointed out, let us look at among these students, how many are getting scholarships. And to my pleasant surprise, what we have seen that around 40% of the students from that population is getting that Swami Vivekananda Merit Cum Means scholarship. This is a really amazing figure. The away states are sponsoring the students. Our problem was solved, and I hope more and more problem will be solved that way. The higher number of education institutes are coming up to serve more and more number of students today. If you look at the West Bengal demographic data, around 25% is youth, who are, most of them are going for the higher education. But the number which is more attractive is the 0 to 19 years old, which is 36%, who will be pursuing their education in coming days. And that creates more opportunity for investors to put money and bet on the West Bengal education journey. All these numbers, if you add that right now our gross enrollment ratio is around 22%. And in 10 years, if we want to take that number to 50, so that means at least another 27 lakh students will go for higher education in the next 10 years. So probably there is a room for another 2,000 institutions or the existing institutions to grow and become more larger and larger and give the quality education to our students. With this context, it is probably, it will be more exciting to hear the founders and the chancellors who has done by their own. We from the outside, externally, we are looking this glittering figure, right? But how they have overcome these challenges when they have set up their institutions, and it is growing, they are nurturing, harvesting, and using the surplus to create more and more institutions. Let us hear from that. I'd like to request Professor Shomit Rai to share his vision and journey with all of us.
Thank you. Today's topics is the investment in West Bengal in educations, that means the higher educations and the school educations. First, I will start from the school educations, because after the COVID and the education system transformed in the last 1 year and the 2 years in such a manner that the investment is required for the school educations also. Just from my experience, I have started my journey 1985. My first institute was Rice Educations. Till today, that institute continuing its performance. Then the school educations, then college, and then the university. It is a unique journey from a tutorial home to a university. Basically and purely, I am a teacher. So every time I am used to take the classes, the student, university student, and professional studies also. So from that experience, especially I can start from the schools, dropout in the school education, the elementary education is one of the reasons that we are losing our intelligence and the futures world of our country, of our state. Yes, there are different concerns in the society. Dropout is not only reasons that only the student are not able to understand the study or their lessons. Maybe he or she be the first generation learner, second generation learner. At the same time, due to the poor financial reasons also, one of the reasons of the dropout. But I think the major portion is that due to the difference of the intelligence and due to the different, they are coming from those houses, those family, the first generation, as a first generation learner or the second generation learner. That is one of the reasons, because the capacity or a teachers or the faculty taking their classes at 40 students or 50 students numbers, but it is impossible to cater or to give the service and to monitor 40, 50 students within a 1 hours and 1.5 hours classes. It is one of the reasons that dropout is happening. In that cases, we have to make some softwares where that mentoring systems can be taken care, and there's a great opportunity of investment in the development of the software in school arena. Number two, yes, digital platform and educational apps is one of the important and one of the almost conditions, a part of the education. Till today, in India, in service industry, we are very excellent, but we have no our own product like LMS, Canvas, everything. So how we can develop that LMS systems in the school education for the purpose of the school education? There's another opportunity for the investments. In West Bengal may be the excellent destination for the investments in the school education, especially this type of development of the software. Another thing, we can introduce LMS and everything, but after introducing, what is the outcome of that application and how we can restore the intelligence and monitor the everyday development? That is the another part of the section of the software where the investment can possible. Yes, during that period, a large number of family or the guardians are capable to afford that technology-enabled learning system. We should to take the opportunity of that portions also. So learning apps is another area that investment we can bring, and at the same time, most of the developers who are now doing the work in not only in the West Bengal or over the India and the international stage also, they are from the West Bengal. So natural source of the skill employee also is available from West Bengal. That is another opportunity for the investments
because ecosystem is one of the important area where is required for the investment. Another area that the teachers training system, development of the teacher training systems. We are losing our talent. There's another reason that yes, the teachers are not well equipped about the modern technology, modern process of the education. So only the good softwares can train the teachers on regular basis, and they will update themselves. Generally, now we are used to say that one teacher should go above the YouTube classes. Other way, the students will lose the attractions, lose the interest in the classrooms. That is another part, that integrations of the demand of the parents and mentoring the intelligence of the student to stop the dropout. So all can be restored by the help of the good software. So this is the one of the important area where the investor can invest the money. Number two, the life learning area is another part. Yes, during the last 10 years, it is established that the only one degree and the one certificate cannot save a particular professional pupil next 20 years or 30 years or 40 years. So regular upskilling or reskilling is required, where the another area the investor can invest the money. And the third one, the situation of the state and the administration is so good, and the government people are encouraging, inspiring ours in that way, and the work culture completely changes. So we can invest more money in West Bengal. So as a son of the soil of West Bengal, I can express my my attitude and everything, that this is a good area where the one can invest their money, because our journey has been started before the 38 years, and then we are continuing. Most of the entrepreneurs, founder, chancellor in this field during the last 40 years here. So that proves that story of every founder, chancellor, and the institute prove that yes, in West Bengal can transform the pictures as a education hub in India. Thank you.
That was Dr. Shumit Rai, founder of RISE Group and Chancellor of Adamos University. Thank you, sir, for reiterating the need of school education and countermeasures for the dropout. You have emphasized on digital education, need for the digital platform and future investments towards that, and also the importance of the teacher training, which is very crucial to give the right education. Thank you, sir. Our next visionary who will share his idea with us is another founder and Vice Chancellor of Suluni University, Atul Khosla. Atul, I would like to request you to share your views with all of us.
Thank you very much, and I hope I am audible.
Your investment journey, how you are looking the future investments in education will come in.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, and I hope I can share my screen and give a small presentation also. I would love to do that. So first of all, I would like to thank CII and the government of West Bengal to give me this opportunity. It's a true honor for me to be here today, but I truly apologize I could not be here in person. I'm meeting India's education minister in the next 45 minutes. And I truly apologize that I couldn't make my trip to Calcutta. So as a quick introduction, Shulini is a path-breaking university located in Himachal. We are research-centric. As a background to me, I used to be with McKinsey, one of the leading consulting firms. So one of your colleagues, like we have friends from PwC, moved into academia, building a university with a focus on innovation and research. What I'm going to talk about today is why higher ed is so important for any state or any country. And I would like to throw some ideas about what could the state of West Bengal start thinking about, and how should investors start thinking about making West Bengal and Calcutta the hub for higher ed in the country. So before I go into my presentation, I'd like to add that I have a very, very soft corner for West Bengal. I've lived in Calcutta for 2 or 3 years of my life in my consulting journey. I love every Bengali that I've ever met in my life. And I think if there is going to be one education hub in the country, it has to be West Bengal. But I would urge all of you to be ambitious. Ambitious not just to create a hub for education of India, but a global hub which can sort of serve for higher education across the world. So I've been thinking about what do I present, and I put a small presentation together. And the vision is very simple. I would just like feedback whether you can see my presentation on the screen as I speak. My presentation is now on my computer. Am I visible on screen? I think I am. I can see that. So I took a topic to say, how do we build Calcutta into the global tech innovation and startup center? And I am going to introduce a concept which, in my cheeky words, I called Caltech or Calcutta Tech. I'm going to start with a thought which says, why is higher education so critical? Countries that have pursued higher education are today leaders in the world. Higher education catalyzes ecosystems, and we have multiple such examples across the world. The most famous of them is Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is driven by Stanford and Berkeley. If you come towards the east, you've got Princeton University and Columbia driving the healthcare corridor in New Jersey in the United States. Harvard and MIT drive the high-tech corridor. And finally, as we think about China, the wave of manufacturing was driven by Tsinghua University, which interestingly is the top 15 university of the world today. I'm going to throw some numbers over here very interestingly. So if you think about the top 10 universities of the world, they just raised $350 billion. Their founders raised $350 billion across different startups last year. If you look at the total FDI in the country, for example, that's less than $100 billion or probably $120 billion. And that's the power of what a great university can do. And that's the power of what a great higher education ecosystem can do. And that's what I'm going to urge West Bengal and investors to start thinking about today. But it's not just that. You also give deep employability if you've got great education. I'm going to show a data over here which indicates that if you're producing graduates, then 76% of those graduates will work in the same region and 40% in the same city, which means if Calcutta and West Bengal become an education hub of the country and the world, a significant part of those students that you produce will actually work out of Calcutta, out of West Bengal, probably creating startups, probably creating an entrepreneurial ecosystem, which I think Calcutta needs very, very urgently. Why Calcutta? Sorry to say this, but Calcutta is not in the global ecosystem for entrepreneurs and startups as we speak. Yes, you've done very well. I just heard that you've done extremely well on education, but you should aspire to be the Bangalore of the future. Why not? You always were the preferred destination for investment. And I think that's the theme that I would like to pick up as I speak. I'm going to take the example of Cornell Tech, which is in the heart of New York City. New York has the same problem as Calcutta. New York today is not in the startup ecosystem of the United States is the Silicon Valley. And there's a very interesting experiment happening right now in New York called Cornell Tech, which is actually the dream of Bloomberg, Mayor Bloomberg. And the theme is very simple. The idea behind Cornell Tech is to say that companies get started where people go to school, people go to university. And we want it to happen right here in New York. So what did Mayor Bloomberg do? He went out with a global RFP saying that I've got 12 acres of land in the middle of New York, 3 stops from Midtown New York, and let us build a world-class higher ed institution. Cornell got it, and that's Cornell Tech for you. There are some pictures of Cornell Tech as we speak. It's New York's new tech hub. Its aspiration is to build a thriving community. Its aspiration is to bring research into New York. Its aspiration is to create startups everywhere. And that's the aspiration that I think Calcutta and West Bengal need to have. Global in nature, but deeply local in impact. So it's 12 acres. It's not a very large campus. And that's the concept I wanted to introduce to you today, which is that universities of the future are not going to be what we call flat universities, spread over hundreds of acres or 40, 50 acres. Can you, as the government of West Bengal, can you, as CII, start thinking about a vertical university that's actually sitting in the middle of Calcutta, in the heart of Calcutta, next to the tech center of Calcutta? And that's really going to be the change that I'm going to suggesting as part of my typical presentation. And I'm going to call it Caltech or Calcutta Tech or Kolkata Tech, whichever way you call it. And I'm going to introduce the concept to you. Hopefully, one of the investors will pick it up. Hopefully, the government of West Bengal will also get interested and give the required permissions to make it happen. What are we talking about? A mission to help Calcutta get onto the global tech map and the startup map of the world. The 3 key objectives, 3 key missions: to provide top talent to Calcutta's tech startups, which are now planning and happening, support entrepreneurship in Calcutta, 3, develop innovative technologies to solve the real problems that Kolkata has, and finally promote technology in the community through schools, colleges, spin-offs that will happen through this high-tech center. The pillars will be, it has to be in the heart of Kolkata. It has to be technology-led. It has to have inspirational infrastructure. So think about a vertical university. Incidentally, Mumbai is already starting to experiment with this. There's a university called Atlas University, which is right in the middle of BKC. So why not in Kolkata? Has to be research-centric, startup-focused, and mentored by the best CXOs which are staying and living in Kolkata. Deeply integrated into Kolkata's ecosystem. When I'm saying, I'm talking about guest lectures coming from CXOs, incubators, accelerators, the real industry research projects, stuff that's really not happening in universities today. What's the impact that could happen? We're talking about a very, very sizable impact that can happen in the ecosystem, a large number of students coming out, a large number of startups coming into place, large number of jobs being generated, and I'm talking about very high-end jobs, but more importantly, a very, very deep impact in the broader economic ecosystem of the state and for the city. And the last thing I'd like to say is that this is what fuels startup growth. So if you can just do one institution like this, we can look at 1,000 new startups in the next 10 years. Imagine if you have 20 such institutions, world-class institutions that are building and creating the startup ecosystem for West Bengal and Calcutta. Let's just shape Calcutta and West Bengal's future. Let's bring technology, high tech and innovation through higher education. Think differently, break the box, build vertical universities, get the best universities to invest in Kolkata and West Bengal. But for that, if there are people from bureaucracy and the ministry sitting over there, you'll have to think differently. You'll have to reach out to universities like ours to invest in Calcutta and West Bengal and not just rely on only Bengali universities and schools to invest. So go global, and hopefully Calcutta will become the Silicon Valley of the future, definitely the Silicon Valley of India. Thank you very much, and hopefully this was useful and helpful. Have a great day and have a great discussion.
Thank you, Atul. Be there. We might have few questions towards the end, if time permits.
Sir, I'm very sorry. I'll have to drop off. I have to run towards uh, towards North Block where the minister is sitting. So I'll have to drop off now. But very happy to answer any questions later on. If you can send me an email, I'll be very happy to participate. Thank you very, very much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful vision to create the Calcutta Caltech and how to retain the talent locally, right? 40% history for the cause of the state. Thank you, Atul. That's a great, great learning from you again. Our next speaker is Mr. Shottam Roy Chaudhary, Chancellor, Sister Nivedita University. May I request you, sir, to share your vision?
Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow panelists, guests, dignitaries, friends from media, and all the academicians and business leaders present here. It is wonderful to see you all from the morning. Actually, I met so many academicians and industry leaders from the morning, and it is really a great opportunity for all of us. Thank you all. West Bengal, the emerging destination of educational investments. Yes, West Bengal is the destination of educational investment. And we believe it. Education hub can be and must be in our West Bengal. I can share you my journey. And actually, it is a long journey. It is a 35 years long journey. And when we started in our state in the year 1985 with a computer training center, and that was the first computer training center in our state, in our hometown, in Chinsura. And now that computer training center converted to the Techno India Group with hundreds of campuses, millions of alumni, 200,000 students from school level to PhD level. And we have almost all the programs in our group. And this is the journey. And so I believe that all the investors from our state, with the help of all the investors of our state and from our nation, from all over the globe, the education hub can be in Bengal. Organized ahead of the Bengal Global Business Summit, the symposium is designed to provide the education sector in Bengal with not only momentum, but the right direction as well. Yes, actually, this symposium is the preparatory session of our Bengal Global Business Summit, which will be held on 21st and 22nd of November. And today, the response is so high, then definitely we can expect that hundreds of business leaders, hundreds of academicians all over the globe will join in education summit of our BGPS, which will be held on 21st and 22nd of November. Public-private partnership, industry-academia collaborations, and international partnership are the need of the hour. And in my view, Bengal stands out as a top destination of higher education for global investors. Let me make a few points as to why opportunities and prospects are limitless in West Bengal. First of all, Bengal boasts a rich legacy. This legacy is not a few years. This legacy is 200 years or more. This is a state where education is more valued than anything else. Thirdly, this is a state where people, rich or poor, believe that high quality education for their children is the best investment they can make. And in Bengal, we believe it. Bengal is a state which has witnessed a dramatic change in the past few years. And since 2011, when our new government came, then the scenario changed rapidly. In education segment, hundreds of new institutions came, 30 new universities came, and real private public partnership developed. And actually, after 2011, Bengal education scenario completely changed. In GDP grew at an average of 12.6% between 2015-16 and 2021. It rose 3 times from rupees 4.74 lakhs crore in 2011 to rupees 14.44 lakhs crore in 2020-21. Capital expenditure increased from rupees 2,000 crore to 13,000 crore. And finally, if you talk about ease of doing business in Bengal, it is easy, you can expect. Bengal's economic and social progress has been phenomenal. Here, the middle class is growing strongly by the day with disposable income. And it is also home to skilled manpower and has immense location advantages. In short, Bengal's horizon is everybody. Now, long ago, Bengal was the prime state of intellectual awakening, a thriving hub of industry, trade, arts, literature, music, philosophy, and science. History tells us that a cultural, social, intellectual, and artistic movement took place in Bengal from the late 18th century to the early 20th century. Among the many changes brought about by the Bengal Renaissance in India was the development of education, something which helped Bengal to take the top position in almost every field. Bengal has always produced extraordinary minds. Most Indian Nobel laureates and global leaders received their education in Bengal here. But for certain reasons, we lost direction and drowned. Happily, things are changing. Bengal is still among the top 5 states in enrollment in higher education. From catalyzing the adoption of technology, of focusing on skilling and upskilling, Bengal is on the cusp of transformation and own its time to make the next big leap. In today's globalized education, collaboration and partnership are the key. It is imperative that educational institutions, industry stakeholders, and the government work hand in hand to attract top global universities and institutes for creating an easy access to world-class institute and top-class and innovative teaching. In this context, I can share a story to you. In the year 1998, when our first engineering college came, that was Netaji Subhash Engineering College. It was 26 years back. And I think that was the second private engineering college in our state. In the inaugural session, one heavyweight minister, he came in inaugural session with other ministers. Then he loudly said that education should not be in hand of private bodies. Education and health must be with government hand. Private sector cannot encourage to set up private institutions. He loudly said that, and everybody just then they all are silent. And after that, it was a first journey. Then our second college came, third came, fourth came, fifth came, all other players from Bengal. They came to invest in private education, engineering, in polytechnic, in other institutions. Then one by one, private initiatives actually initiated here for their educational setup. And after a few years, around 50 institutions, within the 7-8 years, 50 or 52 institutions, most of engineering college came in our state. Then another inaugural session, when I met that minister, I told him, sir, this is the scenario. And not even a single engineering colleges that time in government initiative came. I told him, this is the scenario. And you will find next 5 or 6 years or 10 years that all the institutions, engineering college or university, that will be in private hand. Then he was silent. And this is the scenario. And now private and public institutions are marching ahead. And in private initiatives, new investment that's coming, as well as in public, in government initiatives also, few universities, institutions, always every year, new institutions coming up. For us to make global footprint and set global benchmarks, we need to have institutions of global eminence here. A recent Association of Indian Universities report has said that 1.2 million Indian students migrated every year to countries like US, Germany, UK, France, China, Ukraine, etc. for higher education. But the number of students coming to India is only 26,000 every year. This needs to change. The National Educational Policy 2020 has opened avenues for foreign universities to set up campuses in India. As per the new policy, 100 top global universities can operate here. I strongly feel that Bengal can be a great destination for a number of foreign universities. And this is the time we have to invite our national players or global players to set up universities, institutions here. And it must be from this Bengal Global Business Summit. We will invite all the major players to invest here. In fact, prospects are really bright. I'm confident that Bengal is already on the road of becoming a sought-after destination for global universities. I'm also proud to say that the vision the state government has set and the hard work it has put in has started playing off. Seldom would you find such a favorable and conducive environment of investment in education. There was a time when people in Bengal would not approve of funding from the private sector. I told you the story. That perception has changed, but not before we paid a heavy price for blocking private education providers. I'm proud to say that our Techno India Group is the pioneer in private engineering education in Bengal. Not only did we help arrest the flight of talent to other states, we are the trendsetter in many respects. Our emphasis on practical learning, industry internship, and research collaboration have enabled students to gain real-world experience. We promote a culture of entrepreneurship among students. The group has set up incubation centers and innovation labs to create a nurturing environment for budding entrepreneurs. Several startups have come up from these initiatives, contributing to job creation and economic growth. We will be happy to partner with foreign universities to make the next big leap. Stand on your own feet and assimilate what you can. Learn from every nation. Take what is of use to you. That's Swami Vivekananda's words of advice to the youth. These words of Swamiji aptly sum up the need for strategic partnership and academic collaboration. Learn from every nation. It is simply expression by Swamiji that seeks to promote academic and research collaboration among institutions across countries. I'm confident this symposium will be the example of this historic exercise. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. What a wonderful journey, what we have heard from a single computer education center to 100+ higher education institute. We have heard the need for the investments or the desire for the investment from the family. Every parent believes that investing in the quality education is the best investment. We have heard the need of public-private collaboration and the need for the privatization, how it can help the education sector to take forward. And it is also fascinating to hear the invitation from the founder to the other national and global education investors. And it's a very friendly environment that shows it how West Bengal is a very friendly environment for them. Thank you, Mr. Roy Chaudhary, for sharing your vision. With this, I would now request Mr. Shimarpreet Singh from GIS Group, another large education house in West Bengal, to hear his vision and the role of investors, private investors in West Bengal.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I think lunch has impacted everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I think Zaina ma'am is also on the phone, Ananya is on the phone. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you, CI and Government of West Bengal for having this opportunity here. Before I talk about the topic given to me, I want to share an experience that we had yesterday. So the Government of Bengal had a roadshow in Chandigarh, where they wanted to invite potential investors from Chandigarh to our state, Bengal. We had a very lovely session yesterday. A lot of people showed interest. That is a very important thing, that people are willing to, they had a lot of questions at the end of the Q&A yesterday. So that shows that the people, perception of Bengal is changing. Of how many end up in the BJP is a different question, but a lot of people showed interest. And at the side, up the sideline of the conference, we went to universities. We went to Chandigarh University, Chitkara University. So we saw the scale of operations that is happening in the north. And I was discussing with my father and our chancellor that Bengal has a lot of scope to go. We have, and the funny part was that 10% of the students from both the universities were from Bengal. We met a few students from Malda, Murshidabad, and we discussed why you chose this university. So they said a lot of different things that we generally don't think about, because the life of the student is important. The cultural city of the life around the city is also important to them. They want freedom and they want international flavor. They want, some said the food is better in Chandigarh. I'm not sure about that, but those are experiences that we learned. And as Mr. Atul also said, the startup culture. I think one of the universities that we visited, they had 180 startups incubated in their university. And the Honorable Chancellor gave us a gift, which was a product of their startup only. And they have a store, I think 30 odd stores all over India. So they're very impressive that how North India is progressing, and we have a lot to learn. And the point that we discussed over there, that all of us have a similar goal. We may have part of different universities, but our target is the same. We want people of Bengal to be in Bengal. We don't want the people of our talent to go outside our states. So we're working on them. We have a lot of scope to do. And we obviously cannot compete with government institutions. Their funding is on different level. Our fee structure is so behind in Eastern India, but still we have to compete with the top institutions of our country. And how do we do that? So at our group, we decided that we can't compete on certain parameters. We can't compete on the size of the campus, but we can compete on the non-traditional thing that government universities or new age or old universities can't do. We can work on technology. The faster the information is passed to a student, that is a strength that private university, private players can work on. With that, a little bit of bureaucracy takes a toll in the government institution. So we focus on flipped learning, blended learning way back in 2016 when COVID was not there. No one thought about that, and which helped a lot in our institution during COVID. We were ready from day one. We had less problem. I won't say we never had problem. We had less problem in our digital delivery, and our WhatsApp. We have a culture of WhatsApp information circulation. We give faster approvals, so it makes the system more agile. Rather than a fragile, means more agile. That is what we can compete on, and we try to be more innovative. A lot of a percentage of our budget goes into new age technologies, new age budget. We try to replace old equipment. We try to have more energy saving. We change. We have energy audit, green audit every year. So this is a thing that we indirectly save our costs so that our money gets saved and we can invest in the university, and slowly but steady we can improve. This is something we do. And sharing our experience of BGPS last year, we did an MOU with the health department, with PPP model of medical college. And we were so happy that the government was after us. They were more proactive than us that what is the status of this fire NOC, what is the status of this MAB drawing. So after success, we were very happy to launch the medical college this year. And we are planning 3 more MOUs this year in the BGPS, which will be discussed in the main session. So this is the thing that Bengal has to offer. And one more thing that we were discussing yesterday, the Bengal has a scope of 24 crore population, the entire Northeast, Bihar, Jharkhand, Bangladesh, and Bhutan. So if anyone has to set up a university, you won't get a better target audience than this Bengal sector. And all of us we can survive coexistently. We don't have to compete with each other. The target audience is so huge that we can coexist and still have a lot of scope to grow. And compared to other states, we only have 11 private universities, and the culture started in 2014-15 compared to other states which started in 2002, 2005. So we have a lot of scope to grow. We have more universities. I think Satyam sir already mentioned that we invite other national players to come to our state, because I feel more international players come. It's better for all of us here. We will also get to learn the best practices from there. We'll be more competitive because we should never think that we are the best. We should always try to be learning every day. And how Caltech, sir mentioned about Caltech, it's a unique case study. We don't have much time, but we talk about MIT's open access course. That's a very interesting case study how they have changed the entire game of education. And I think this is it. I think thank you, Anish, Mr. Anish, for letting me speak before him. Because Anish being the youngest, I always get the last speaker slot. So very happy that he's given me the slot. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Simratpreet. We have heard the need of more and more institutes in India, how the students from Bengal are pursuing their career in outside of the Bengal. There is a scope for more and more institutions in Bengal. We have heard the narrative of competition framework, that different dimensions to focus for the private institutions. And also, it's a great point that student catchment area is not only the Bengal. The institute in Bengal should focus on Northeast, Nepal, Bhutan, and Bangladesh. It's a larger catchment area. So thank you, Mr. Samurpreet Singh. Now, education helps to achieve a successful career. And to thrive in the career, we need to harness our skill. One university which is just focusing on the skill nurturing, become Skill University. May I request Dr. Anish Chakraborty, Chairman, become Skill University, to share his vision.
Very good afternoon to everybody. What a shift in the dais. We had all grown up seeing stalwarts of like Dr. Shuranjan Das being in the dais and speaking, and we had been on learning. We had been seeing in our early days Dr. Dhruvajyoti Chattopadhyay to be speaking, and we had been sitting in the audience and learning the method of imparting training. Now they might have taught us well. That's why we might be here speaking in front of them, and here we are. They will be taking note of what we are saying and how better we are saying, so that we can follow their footsteps. Not to the extent it can be copied, because legends cannot be copied. We can only close in to the people who have really driven a structure of education that West Bengal has seen. So thank you to all my speakers in the dais, and thank you for the lovely people who had been sitting in the audience. When we came in, the speakers, we thought we will be only speaking and we will be only hearing. There had been no audience. Then slowly and steadily, time got few of you, and it is so kind of you to be with us, to try to hear to what we wish to speak. Well, yeah, the AC might be nice, nicely chilled. Why I choose to be the last speaker? It's very important. To our Dr. Ghosh, I said I wish to speak last. I start with two small clarifications. The name of our university is SICOM Skills University and not Skill University. And I'm not a doctor. I'm Mr. Anis Chakravarti or Anis Chakravarti. So these are the small two clarification I thought I should say by starting my speech, number one. Number two, why I wanted to be the last speaker, because all the great speakers from Professor Shomit Rai, Professor Shottam Rai Chaudhuri, then we had our Vice Chancellor, founder, Vice Chancellor of Soloni University, Atul Khoslaji, and we had his more than a son to me, Samarpit, who spoke so lovely. They all spoke about investment, and they all spoke about, because the theme was made to speak, West Bengal, an emerging destination of educational investment. I have a very serious objection in the word emerging destination. It is like a debate now. Four of them spoke of West Bengal as the emerging destination, and four of them spoke of West Bengal as a prospective destination for investment. In education, it is not an investment. You are not able to take back the money, whatever you put in. So it is not an investment. It is like putting in money, putting in your efforts, putting in your thoughts, putting in your dreams, putting in your passion. These are all investment. All that we learn from our forefathers, all we learn from our family, all we learn from our seniors, all we learn from our teachers, we are putting it back to the society, and that is the investment we are doing. Money that we are giving as a promoter, we are earning it somewhere. We are begging, borrowing. We are not stealing. We are begging, borrowing. We are doing something, making the two ends meet, and we are putting in the money because we need to create an infrastructure which has to be regionally good, nationally stable, internationally competitive. So it is all those who are into education sector, we keep on developing our infrastructure, our activities, technologies. Universities which are 200, 300, 400, 500 years old, they are all surviving on donations. They are all surviving on sponsorship. They are all surviving on support, financial support system. The money has to be, it cannot be earned if it is a real university, university of eminence, university focusing on research. It has to be supported by an individual, supported by a family, supported by organizations, supported by NGOs, supported by industry, or supported by the government. So it cannot be a single family, it cannot be a single organization which can withstand the pressure of investment, or the expenditure would be the right word, expenditure of building up world-class universities. And emerging, why do I contest on the word emerging? West Bengal had been always the ground for educational hub. It is never emerging. It had dipped to the standards. National Medical College, it had all the great scholars, all the great doctors we see today in India, around India, globally. They had been all studying in medical college. Presidency, we had the best of all the Stephens, all the IS, mostly, like, they had been from presidency. From Calcutta University, can't believe who did not study in Calcutta University. So what we are talking as emerging, we were the best. Situation compelled, I'm not going into the debate, situation compelled West Bengal to dip into certain difficult moments. There might have been difficult reasons that West Bengal was not chosen as a educational destination for people coming in to study by choice. Great professors were not coming to impart teaching, to take up employment by choice, because there had been certain issues which might be semi-government issues, might be semi-political issues, might be semi-sociological, issues. But with the emerging of private players coming in, we have given the assurance to the great scholars, great teachers that come back to West Bengal, stay back in West Bengal, and we assure you comfort, we assure you decent life, we assure you the safety, we assure a lot of things, and we request them to stay back and don't take up a job in different part of India, or recalling the great teachers or professors, educators to come back to West Bengal and impart education. So private colleges or universities, now they are playing a very serious part into bringing back those golden days back to West Bengal. And if the great teachers, the good educators, they come back to West Bengal, the students who are migrating from West Bengal to other parts of India, they will not be going. And moreover, we will find a time when students from different states will be coming to West Bengal. I have been talking to somebody by choice, even in Jadavpur University or Presidency or Calcutta University, we don't find students coming from different parts of India, like Jharkhand, like Karnataka or Haryana. Just now, Simarpreet said, from Calcutta, 10% of the students are going to CU, Chandigarh University. But from Chandigarh, nobody is coming. They will be coming. That day is not far away. Only thing is that we have to create that culture. We have to give them something extra. We have to give them the academics that they need to prepare them for the world. Hence, I would say that West Bengal was the best educational destination in India. The first marine college, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru inaugurated. One was, the nautical side was in Mumbai, T.S. Chanakya, which is now renamed. and the engineering side, it was at Taratola Marine College. Throughout India, the students used to come to West Bengal, to Calcutta to study marine engineering. Khidirpur was the biggest ship repairing port. Students used to come, and 90% of the seafaring community was all studying from Calcutta, getting degree from Jadavpur University. That time there was no Indian Maritime University. So Government of India spoke to Jadavpur University, and initially Jadavpur University was giving them degree. Now Indian Maritime College is giving them the degree. The reason I am indicating this is that when we offer something very, very special, which students are getting equally in Calcutta at a better price, at a better situation, West Bengal in just few days' time will be the chosen destination to come and accept education from us. And as far as investment is concerned, I would say that it is very generous for all the private universities that is working today to work, earn somewhere. Somebody is earning from school, somebody is earning from vocational institution and investing into university. It has to be very well understood. You can earn little money. It is not a balance sheet when we do. It is not a profit and loss balance sheet. It is income. It is income over expenditure. So we earn something in vocational education. We make a balancing between a college education and generally in university education, we are losing money, but we are putting in money because we are committed to the state of West Bengal that education has to be taken in the first stage, and education will take our state of West Bengal to the highest level, ensuring job prospect, industry prospect, social prospect, and the happy quotient, the lifestyle quotient for all the upcoming youths of West Bengal. So with this, I feel we come to square one that West Bengal, we are all very comfortable, happy. We have the resources, intellectual resources I'm talking of, great personalities, great educators. And if somebody is creating or making a school to a college to a university, the first requirement is not a brick and mortar structure. Rabindranath Tagore started school education, college education with no roof, like, open to the sky. NEP today says the same thing. So what 150 years before, the great educator, the great poet, the great teacher taught us, India is following that. For education today, with digital education, with technology education imparting, we don't need a brick and mortar structure. We need thought, we need knowledge banker, we need people who can really drive the youth and bring them back to understand what they actually need. I had been talking to somebody and I said, today's student, because when we sit together, we are friends. But when we are talking to a student, we are offering them so much of incentive, rewards, that I had been saying to somebody that today's students are actually spoiled in abundance. They have so much opportunity. How they are getting so much of opportunity? It is they are getting so much of opportunity because our government policies, the state government policy, is giving them so much of possibilities, opening up the possibilities. And we are bringing the state government policy and we are creating that policy for the students, and we are giving it to the students, and they are spoiled in abundance. But we have to also understand that it is a global economy. The students are to be taught by us, but they should go all over the world and ensure that they have a good life. Hence, I conclude my statement by saying thank you to West Bengal government for making this beautiful platform where we can come and express our views and understand more from great teachers, learners, educators, policymakers, and giving us the scope to work in West Bengal by creating the private university policy. And we are proud to say that as a university promoters, as a university operators, managers, we are committed for the growth of West Bengal, and anybody who is coming to participate in the education sector of West Bengal and find a great opportunity here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Anish Chakraborty. Become Skill University. We have heard the meaning of investment. It's not only about the monetary investment, it's about the passion, it's about the hardship, what these founders are going through. With this, we'd like to open this panel for your question. If there is any question from the audience, our esteemed audience would like to hear, and we'll try to meet your expectations with our answer. If there is any question. Okay. So we hear that as the last, we are coming towards the last segment of this. I'll request any of our panelists if they have final thought to share. In 1 minute. Okay. So let me conclude this.
Thank you. Actually, this is one of the program that the entrepreneurs from West Bengal come in front for the investment. During the last 10 years and 15 years, we are waiting for that the investment will come from the outside West Bengal, but it is not happening. Yes, now many people are talking about the investment in West Bengal, outside West Bengal also. So this type of program will help to make the mind to invest more money in the West Bengal. And it will be good one if the other entrepreneurs from the other industry will come and invest the money in education. Yes, as a promoter, as a founder of the institute, all of we have the responsibility to maintain the quality of the education and to the pursuit of the excellence of the education. That should be the one of the important agenda, because as we are the promoter and we are taking care of the quality of the education, that is the primary duty to maintain the education's quality and excellence of the education. All of you who are present here and give time and hear about all the words passionately, and thank you.
Thank you, sir. West Bengal, as we know, that is the cultural capital of India. And if we borrow from Rabindranath Tagore, the culture is the radiation of educated and intellectual mind. In this part of the world, parents believe that the best investment is to make their children educated and give them their journey to the intellect. A proactive focus from our government and collaboration between the public and the private investment, I'm sure West Bengal will achieve a new heights especially in the education sector. We'd like to thank all my panelists, esteemed audience and dignitaries. Hope we are able to bring some thoughts and ideas which are close to your heart. This is so enriching and so learning, a lot of learning for me. And I believe this type of platform gives us the best chance to cross-pollinate and create a new idea. Thank you all. I believe we have a small felicitation. Yeah, we have a small. Yeah.